Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Bandle Blitz. It's me, nearly, not quite, joining me with Matt on Matargus Plays.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Bandle Blitz. Super excited for this, our Saturday evening Riftbound fix, just to go to inject that straight into our veins and just have ourselves a nice little casual tournament on TCG Arena.
Excellent. Yeah, of course, the only thing that people are playing for today are server roles, and everybody's really happy to do it. Just a really nice and fun tournament environment that we've got going on. Now, we are actually just hitting the time to start the match, so we are going to basically just jump right into round one. Who is it that we've picked, Matt?
We have picked RTF Rift versus Ocean X. Well, it's Ocean XN. I can't say that as a word, so I just call it Ocean. Call him Ocean. So we'll be grabbing that match. I have no idea what we're playing. We don't actually take deck lists for this tournament. We're kind of casual, but as we are growing, we are probably going to start considering a little bit more of that so that we can then post some stats and stuff afterwards. We know you appreciate it. But the idea of this is for people to have fun, get some practice before the game comes out, and also just playing online in general. We are going to be using the platform TCG Arena. We absolutely love this. It's a free, very accessible version. They recently added hotkeys, so you can actually now use those when playing on the online browser. I recommend that you look into it. We've got ourselves a guide on our YouTube channel, which will explain a little bit about how to play the game if you're just getting into Riftbound. We've also got videos on sort of like the basics of building a deck. We don't actually build a competitive deck for you, but we show you all of the rules that you need to adhere to. And if you want to get into it, we'd love to have you. Come join our Discord server. We've got a great bunch of people. We're also getting a lot of the sharks, I noticed, from the competitive things. We're seeing some of those really, really successful players that have been playing in the Rift Labs, Thursday night fight nights. They're starting to show up in the server as well. So if you're looking for great tournament practice prior to the first Houston event, I say the first Houston event, the regional, that's going to be in Houston, or even the cash tournaments in Orlando or Georgia and Vegas. It's a great time to come in and sort of take part in these tournaments just to get yourselves ready so that you know you can be the best Kai'Sa player in the room. Now, I would say that something else has a chance of winning, but we're realistically on the Kai'Sa train.
Kai'Sa is definitely dominating the meta for the first set. So yeah, we will probably see a lot of them today, but we find that with these tournaments, people try and just play a little bit more of a fun deck because there isn't that much huge stakes, and you get some really interesting plays out there. So, Matt, do you want to let everybody know that we are starting time on the round? So, good to see everybody waiting in the lobby. Let's get them onto their tables, and okay. I am going to press a button, and you're going to hear Tristana in the audience say what round it is.
Locked, loaded, and ready to rock it.
Okay, and we're over on the game board. I need to share my screen to Matargus just to make sure that you can also see what's going on. That would be good.
I commentating is something I've done a lot of, but I've not done it blind before. So that'd be interesting. It's like
Dark Souls runs, but blindfolded.
It's like
opponent's playing Kai'Sa, you've got a pretty good chance.
Channel 2 energy, play Ravenbloom student, leave one open, pass. Okay, opponent moves into the zone. We're going to activate Hedge Tech Ray, ready, play Kai'Sa. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. It's actually really funny. Kai'Sa is a really good deck, and obviously we're going to be seeing quite a bit of it. It's Ahri versus Kai'Sa. This is a really cool matchup.
Nice. Ocean is on the bottom. I believe they're playing...
Ahri.
The Ocean's on the bottom playing Ahri, and on the top is RTF Rift, I think. Oh, wait, no. Other way around. Ocean is playing Kai'Sa. And
okay.
RTF Rift is playing Ahri.
Yeah, so the Ahri deck is something that's starting to raise to prominence. It's now being sort of respected as a competitive deck. Initially, the highest performing place was at the Chinese regionals. It was back in August. It got people's attention, and people have been crafting with this Ahri quite a lot because it just generally has a really strong late game with being able to cheat extra turns with Time Warp very consistently and get all the extra points, which will allow you to win. And Ahri is really obnoxious to attack into. It's paired with probably two of the stronger colors in the game. The argument that Fury is probably the best color in the entire game, it's up for debates, but our chosen champion on Ahri is Ahri Alluring, and she has the ability to draw additional cards. Not draw additional cards, sorry, I'm looking at the God Willow as we were just hovering over it. Ahri Alluring allows us to score...
You score even you hold, you score another point, essentially.
Yeah. It's quite hard to resolve this against Kai'Sa, but if you get it into play and it resolves even once, you're just getting such ridiculous value out of it. The battlefields we're playing on today for round one is going to be the God Godwillow, and Targon's Peak, Grove of the Godwillow. So Grove of the Godwillow is basically when you hold it, so you have a unit there at the start of your turn, you get to draw an additional card. Very, very powerful, especially for Ahri, which plays its legend ability, and a lot of cards that are very good at just sitting on the point and very difficult to remove. Targon's Peak is the preferred battlefield for Kai'Sa. When you conquer it, at the end of your turn, you get to ready 2 runes. So it lets you develop your units and then ready responses, which makes Kai'Sa insane. Interestingly, we left that 1 rune up, and there was no Hedge Tech Ray.
It does look like it. But also, I do love that your blind prediction for what was happening on turn 1 exactly what happened.
Yeah. It's like I've been watching it.
Play the Raven Bloom.
Yeah, and I think it's actually worth it because it's... we're going to see the Falling Star. So we're going to be able to strip out both these Raven Blooms unless there's a response. But Ahri's very, very strong with the Raven Blooms because you get to play the pump spells that increase the power. The might of the units, and then that will allow them to potentially survive against... so this Stupefy is going to reduce the Raven Bloom for Oceans on the top. So Oceans Raven Bloom is going to get -1. We're going to get +2 to the Raven Bloom that's staying in play, and Retreat is going to return one of those Raven Blooms. So we're going to go to 4, save the one that's on the board, and also keep one in hand. And we're going to channel an additional rune. So that's a very good exchange for Ahri, being able to not lose a single unit, the Falling Star. Falling Star is probably one of the format-defining cards. It's going to stop so many decks ever having fun. Well, that's not true. It's just like an absolutely absurd card because of the way it's so flexible in what you can destroy. And it's something that if you are wanting to hoard up on cards for your TCG player account, or you want to be a bit of a scalper, stock up on Falling Stars, stock up on Kai'Sas, stock up on Darius. Those are going to be the money hits in the secondary market. We returned the Poro. Very interesting. So what actually happened there is we retreated the Poro so we could keep both our Raven Blooms alive. And Raven Bloom is absolutely absurd in this match. So we've moved both the Pouty Poro, which has Deflect on it, and we have our own Raven Bloom. We've readied 2 runes, so we're at 3. The Kai'Sa player, Ocean, is representing a Voidseeker. They didn't play Hedge-Tech Ray when the Poro moved in originally, so we know that unless they just drew one, it's not going to happen. We're going to move our Raven Bloom over to Grove of the Godwillow. That's going to score a point, bringing us to 2. And what's really helpful here is that Grove of the Godwillow demands an answer. If your opponent even gets 1 draw out of it, the game becomes so much harder to win. And it's very difficult to attack into an Ahri because Ahri's legend ability for each unit attacking gets -1. And because we're in green or calm, basically we get to play a bunch of these pump spells, and Raven Bloom gets +1 every time we play a spell. So even if we play 1 discipline on this unit, it goes up to 5 might, which is gigantic. It usually gets over everything. So we've played 1 spell here. We've played Find Your Center. That's going to ramp us. It's going to get us towards our end game. We're already at 8 runes for Ahri versus 4 on our Kai'Sa player. So we may be, if we've got some gas, we could definitely challenge this Targon's Peak. But the thing that we need to get through is a Voidseeker, and that would then mean we have to beat 5 power. So if we've got Discipline, we'd definitely be going in. Zonya's Hourglass, that's our insurance policy we're going to be taking out on this Raven Bloom if we send it in, allowing us to save a unit and bring it back to base. Very, very good card, Zonya's Hourglass. This card has just been present in any green list almost. Oh, okay, we're going to abandon the Targon's Peak and just send 2 units over to Grove of the Godwillow. We're not starting a showdown, so Voidseeker can't be used, and the Kai'Sa player just burns free energy. The tempo loss from just holding that up and not having a window to use it is massive. We already got a point lead on the Ahri player, and we're on our preferred battlefield. The cool thing about doing it this way is Targon's Peak only triggers when you conquer it, and not when you hold it. So this effectively means that our Kai'Sa player is not going to be able to develop and ready 2 runes. So that means that the Ahri player can focus on actually being more aggressive with their development and presenting 8 runes. They may be looking at Tasty Faefolk. They could consider Thousand Tail Watcher. It would be a bit interesting to get the Ahri out. You've seen 1 Falling Star, and you've got Zonya's up, so you could potentially be playing Ahri Alluring out, but this is a very sensitive game. If you commit your resources in the wrong way, which is almost the same with any class, but especially on Ahri into Kai'Sa, you get blown out by a lot of stuff. So you've just got to know what plays just automatically lose you the game or give the Kai'Sa the best chance of winning. So, what are your thoughts on Kai'Sa in general, Nearly? Like we've seen a lot of this from other tournaments and stuff. I know you're currently still learning everything about the game, but how do you feel about it? Is it something that excites you? Is it kind of like the deck that annoys you? Like, what's your general consensus of this Kai'Sa deck?
It generally feels pretty much exactly like we saw with the first set of Lorcana, where we saw that essentially you were playing red-purple because it had the best removal. It had the best card draw. It had everything that you really needed to be able to answer a lot of questions that the other colours could bring to you. And essentially, I think that we've just got back into that kind of meta of we have a brand new game, and 1,000 people playing it is going to always be a better test play than a play tester than the developers in the room. And I think that it's really interesting that we've found kind of all these different ways that people are playing all these decks. And it makes me wonder, from your perspective as a game designer, I mean, you worked on Yu-Gi-Oh! for nearly a decade. What do you think here? What do you think the devs must be thinking in their offices right now?
I've said a few things on stream that are interesting, I guess, in terms of like how I feel about the Kai'Sa deck. I do feel like it was the favorite child of the development cycle, because almost all of the rulings and everything seems to be built around whatever makes Kai'Sa the best. Kai'Sa's legend ability. Oh, we are getting the Ari down. So while the opponent's tapped out, this gives us a great opportunity to get Ari in. We've got the Zhonyas. We've got double Ravenbloom, which are both going to get an additional +1 might every time that we play a spell card. And we're holding up 5, and we're holding quite a good grip of cards here. So we don't have to contest our opponent's Paiti Poro or their Ravenbloom right now. We are going to recycle a rune, probably playing a hidden card. There are a couple of playable hidden cards in blue. Blastcone Fae is very, very good. It could be Consult the Past.
Pretty sure
it could be
Zhonyas.
The usual suspect is double Zhonyas here. Our Kai'Sa players only go into 7, so we can't see a Thousand Tailed Watcher. So the Darius is pretty key, though. The Darius is going to be able to do quite a lot of work, especially with 7 runes open. But to answer your question as a game designer, like Kai'Sa is really the legend ability makes it kind of unfair, because the entire game is balanced around power costs, and Kai'Sa gets a multicolored seal for free that they can use every single turn. So the idea is that if you're spending power, you are giving up your ability to play better cards that are a higher energy and therefore better stats to gain a very short-term advantage. And Kai'Sa just gets to do the best of both worlds. You get to play those better spells, and you get to build up to an end game, which a lot of other decks can't compete with. And what we do see is decks like Master Yi being very, very strong, because they have the ability to just gain +2 might if a unit's defending a lane when you attack into it. So when you do the math and you put it in a calculator and you figure out, well, how much energy how many stats do I get for my energy? From Master Yi, effectively it works out that you basically, every time your opponent attacks into you, you've just gained 2 energy each turn. And it makes it very difficult for your opponent to attack into you, especially if you're holding up loads of tricks. But the other decks, like all of the cool stuff that we'd like to potentially see, like Jinx, we do see quite a bit of Annie, to be fair, for different reasons. Victor and all that, they just get absolutely obliterated by the superior removal suite of Kai'Sa. Right, we're going to see Falling Star going after both the Ravenblooms again. So we could save both of them with the 2 Zhonyas, but I imagine one of those is being saved for this Ari. Yeah. It is a question, because if we have 2 spells, if we had 2 spells, we could potentially try and save them, but then we'd be basically playing out all of our responses. If we keep this Ari alive, we're going to be in a very good position. Okay, yeah, we're going to play 1 discipline. This is going to allow us to give +2 to one of the Ravenblooms, and then both Ravenblooms will trigger and one will go to 3 and one will go to 5. So then there's a question of, like, if we play one more spell, which could even just be Stupefy, we'll keep both Ravenblooms and we'll keep our Zhonyas intact, which will be pretty good, but we still have to worry about this Darius rampage, and there's 5 ready runes for our Kai'Sa player. But the Grove of the Godwillow, if we hold that again, we're going to just start pulling ahead. Kai'Sa's usually very good because all of its cards cycle. You're going to get yourself additional draws. And Ari getting access to the same thing. Oh, we're getting a retreat coming down. This is really interesting. So we're retreating Ari. Okay, so we decide that these 2 Raven Blooms are worth more than leaving Ari on the point for the double score. I guess against 5 face-up runes, that I can understand that. It becomes... You could send in the Darius to get the double kill, but if we attack into a smoke screen, that could be a little bit catastrophic. And the reason we get the double kills is we've got 3 damage on each of these units, so effectively we need to deal 4 damage. Darius currently deals 5, and if we play 1 more spell, Darius will get +2. It's a difficult situation because you want to... What we know about Ari is that it's quite slow to get back into things if you shove them off. They've got the Tasty Fey Folk and Thousand Tail Watcher, but all of their other units, they generally have to play quite slowly. And Kai'Sa gets to play like a lot of cards that move very, very quickly. We are getting blown out by our Defy. Defy going to be able to negate that smoke screen. That's...
Love a good old counter spell.
Yeah, 1 energy. This card is just so good. And interestingly... In Rune Terror, the same card, I'm trying to remember what it was. It cost 3 mana. It was a spell, and it just negated a spell. And it was considered absolutely broken because you had a spell mana mechanic. So basically, any mana you didn't spend each turn got put in your spell mana pool. And you used to, like, during the alpha, the beta set, you could just go ahead and negate 1 card out of this. So even aggro decks were playing counter spells because it stopped you interacting with their stuff. And Defy, I think, is a much fairer version. Like, usually counter spells can be really unfun to play against, but the power cost and the limitations on what you can counter is handled really, really well. Defy just feels like an excellent card. It's not overly oppressive. That may change as we get more cards and more counter spells in the future. It's the most efficient one right now. We're going to get that score again on a God Willow, draw 2 cards, and we retain both Ravenbloom students, and Kai'Sa is... only on 5 runes, so we're not going to see a Thousand Tail Watcher, and we can see these card advantage is now starting to pull away. This is very, very good for our Ari player, and we also know that they have the Ari in hand as well to try and redeploy it if they have the available resources. From the legends you've looked at, which one's enticing you the most, nearly? Is there like something you've actually caught onto and gone, oh my god, that looks like so much fun? Like,
honestly, I'm really undecided at the moment. It's very difficult to really find my playstyle with a lot of games until I played it enough. Because there's certain decks that I'll think, oh yes, that's exactly the kind of playstyle that I would have played if I was playing a different game. But then as soon as I get into it, it may not actually reach or match any of my expectations of it. So more playtime will tell exactly what I'm happy to play.
I totally get you. I am a glutton for pain, and I've realized actually I purposely frustrate myself with card games. I like taking things that are not meta, which is usually a reason for it, and then saying, oh, I'm going to make this work. And then I will grind and grind and grind on a deck that is just at a disadvantage because for some reason, I enjoy the struggle more than I enjoy. As soon as I start winning, I find myself losing interest in a deck. And it is a really, really weird thing that I get obsessed about trying to craft a deck that can actually compete with what's already winning. And then as soon as I start winning, I'm like, oh, okay, I think I want to change my deck and try out a different legend now. So I'm trying to work on that so that I consistently stick with a particular strategy, or even take the time to understand some of those top level matches, which is something you have to do if you want to do well in tournaments.
How far are we into the match at the moment, Matt?
We have 34 minutes, 45 seconds left on the round. So plenty of time on this. We're playing 50 minutes, and end of match procedure, once time is called, is 50 minutes. You finish the current turn, and then you have 5 additional turns from there. And then the highest score in the game will win that current game. Then you compare the match result, and then you report it, and we progress the tournament. We're hoping all matches finish on time, but we need to be strict with it because ultimately these things can run a little bit long, and people want to go to bed, people have lives. So we just want to respect everybody's time with this. Hence, why we have our pretty strict time rules. We've managed to get through. We've retreated here, so we've decided actually our opponent at 7, we didn't want to blow both of our Zhonya's hourglasses. We've committed the 2 clockworks. These allow us to draw a card so that we can get through our deck a little bit more. And we've got the green Ari supported. So by doing this, we prevent our opponent being able to use things like Hextech Ray or Void Seeker to pop our Zhonyas, which means we're very likely to stick this Ari. And this is a very dangerous spot for our Kai'Sa player. While we are matching on score, that Ari swings it, because you can't hold one side against an Ari, because Ari scores 2 points, you only score 1. And there's that looming threat coming up of Time Warp. Now, our Ari player is currently only on 7 runes. Next turn, they're going to be going up to 9, so they're not going to be able to Time Warp. But the turn after that, depending on the power being spent, every battlefield potentially becomes a win condition, and you end up having to split your army or keep all of your responses to make sure your opponent can't take either. And that's a very dangerous position to be in. And our Kai'Sa player doesn't have a ton of resources to play around this, because we do have both of our clockworks. We also have access to both of our Ravenbloom students that do get ridiculous with any buff spell. Now, if we can bait one of those buff spells, that will drop our opponent below 10 runes. They can't Time Warp, but it's still not a great spot to be in. And since we're holding this Targon's Peak, we're not actually able to take advantage of its Conquer effect, which is going to allow us to untap ready 2 of our runes, allowing us to develop and hold up responses. We're kind of being denied that by our opponent not contesting it. They were on Grave of the Godwillow, and that's given them so much card advantage. So we're going to see Ikafian Rain being played, which is a ton of power being committed, but that does strip out both the Zhonyas. That's pretty huge. But that means Ari is 100% going to be able to get on one of these points here. Then the opponent's got to be presenting a way to deal with the Ari. We could move the Darius forward, but I don't know if we can afford to lose it. We're only going to 7, so Thousand Tail Watcher Accelerate is not a viable play next turn. Yeah, we can double score. We can't double score because we already held the Targon's Peak, but we can go up to 5, and we're going to force some action on the Godwillow. The Ari player in this situation does not want to let the Kai'Sa get free card draws. But they've got quite a lot of cards. They're drawing up to 5. They should be able to contest this really, really well.
Oh, really good turnout this time round. I think we've got 15 players, but one has just dropped out by the look of it. They didn't check in time, but that's fine. But yeah, it is looking like a good time. We're going to have 4 rounds today, so stick around for all of that. Find your center.
It'll be good. Find your center. This card gets better as soon as our opponent gets to within 3 points of winning the game. It's important to say that, because if Aspirant's Climb is in play, it does change when you can play this. You can play it for 2 less energy. This card's been really, really strong. When it was originally revealed, people were like, I don't know, it's just kind of expensive for a ramp spell, when Body, already the orange color already does this a lot better. But drawing a card and getting 1 rune plays very well into this strategy, and it also only costs 1 when your opponent is doing what they should be doing, which is trying to win the game. So, yeah, we can go 8, and that's probably going to be a tasty Fae Folk. Thousand Tail Watcher being accelerated. Even better. This means we're going to be able to take both sides. Our Kai'Sa player is completely tapped out, so the Thousand Tail Watcher, that does feature in Grave of the Godwillow artwork. It's almost like they decided this is going to be happening a lot in development. We're going to be able to take this side, go to 5 points, and then we're going to be able to run over this Pouty Poro very comfortably. Now, the thing is I don't know if you can commit the Ari because of being tapped out. And that would give our Kai'Sa player quite a good opportunity to just kill Ari. You don't necessarily need it at this point. If we keep 2 units in base, it gives us the opportunity to go for the double conquer to get us up to 8 points. So I don't think it's worth risking the Ari necessarily here. Oh, we are going to push it onto Grave of the Godwillow and say, you need to come here. I can see the logic. Okay, so the argument for that would be, we're going for a full hold over on Grave of the Godwillow to keep our cards up, and it prevents our Kai'Sa player potentially being able to contest that. Our opponent only has access to 7, and we're readying 2 runes from the Targon's Peak. So with 7, we can't accelerate a Watcher. We could go Darius Cleave, but then we're killing either the Thousand-Tailed Watcher or the Ari and the Ravenbloom student. And then we would still need to do something else. if we wanted to actually achieve anything with that. So Darius Cleave is not great because we also get the -1.
Stupefy?
It is Stupefy, yeah.
Digging to see if they can get any answers here by the look of it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to do with 6 runes. The
Where's the Hex Tech?
Cathian Rain going after... we've Stupefied the Ahri. Yeah, we're just going to say this. So we have to kill this Ahri, otherwise it will score 2 points on its own. But we're attacking whatever we send in there is going to get ravaged by this big stack. And we also still have to keep in mind that Targon's Peak has a unit on it which will hold and score as well. And the Ravenbloom just got +1 for the Defy. Yeah. This is looking like it's going to be Ahri's game. It's interesting because whenever you play against Ahri, especially if you're new to the game, not Ahri, when you're playing against Kai'Sa and you're kind of feeling new to the game, it feels a little bit hopeless in many ways because it just feels like they get everything. They get to play cards, they score points, they kill all your units, but there is a method to all the madness in terms of forcing certain responses, reading the runes, and then making these exchanges as minimally profitable to the opponent as possible. Our Ravenbloom's going to survive, and our opponent's going to lose their last onboard unit. This game should be going to game 2, to be honest. It's going to be very difficult to contest from this stage. It may be worth hiding the card down. We never even got to see the Kai'Sa Survivor, the chosen champion, coming into play here, which is quite unusual, is it's a main way that Kai'Sa continues to keep up the pressure by having that accelerate and also threatening additional card draw. It's not often that Kai'Sa loses a Targon Peaks game, but this is going to be one of those legendary games, it seems. Just let the players figure out how they're going to wrap this up, and we'll go from there.
It does look like we're really trying to figure this out. But I don't think there's any way you can pull this back.
Not with 2 cards. Like, this 1,000 Watcher is gigantic, yeah.
Yeah, so it was... Person playing Ahri, so let me just... Boop.
Our first shroom of the evening being granted to our Ahri player. For anyone who's calling for the underdog, although I'm getting to the point where I don't think Ahri can be called an underdog, it is definitely a meta contender. Just Time Warp is such a ridiculously good card, and you play an entire deck that really maximizes it. The other deck that's really good with it is Kai'Sa, because it lets Kai'Sa put you in horrible positions where you can either play around Thousand Tail Watcher or Time Warp, but you're frequently in a position where playing around both is impossible. And that is in itself quite difficult to deal with. But we'll see what comes in through the side deck. The Kai'Sa deck has a ton of removal, and Ahri doesn't spend a lot of power. So the Kai'Sa's generally trying to outvalue this Ahri player in the early game and seize control, make it very difficult for Ahri to get on the points. And then even if they do start accelerating their big units, by that point it's usually a bit too late, because your top end is things like Darius, that beats a tasty Fey Folk. Well, yes and no, because Ahri's legend ability also makes that calculation a little bit more difficult. But we'll see what happens in the side. It's interesting to see if Kai'Sa's actually still considering options specifically to deal with the Ahri matchup. Usually you see a lot of the sideboard being dedicated to anti-Aurora strategies, because Aurora has a very good matchup in the Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa's like, okay, if that's the only time that I'm going to be losing, maybe I should be dedicating a lot of my side deck spots to that particular matchup. So the Misfortune, the Master Yi, that kind of strategy. So we'll see if there's any specific Ahri tech, or if we just trust that our removal suite is good enough. We could be potentially playing on Voidgate, but it's a bit interesting as Kai'Sa to be choosing Voidgate when you're going first. Mm-hmm. It could be a Reaver's Row game for Kai'Sa, but we don't know the battlefield, so Kai'Sa's got this incredible ability to just play well on almost every single battlefield in the game. I say almost, there are a couple that are not ideal. And usually game 2...
What's that not ideal?
Viomol's Lair, which says when a unit comes here, it cannot move to base, and you don't have any ganking in Kai'Sa. You do play retreat, so it's not a complete wash, but if you shove your Darius in there, it is sitting there effectively without additional support. Hiriana Monastery isn't great because you don't have any buffs, and Hiriana Monastery says if you capture here, if you have a buff, you can spend it to draw a card, commonly played with Cyphria in decks like Set or Lee Sin.
I think we just had a bit of a glitch there. They've already started.
Yeah, we just had a little bit of a lag spike, and we're going to be seeing a Pouty Poro coming out and moving to Aspirant's Climb. We're going to Reaver's Row, so it is a Reaver's Row game for Kai'Sa. Yeah, that's kind of be a bit expected. This is actually pretty good to play around a lot of Ari's tricks, as your opponent committing stuff generally gives you a pretty big tell on what you want to do. So it means you can protect your units like Kai'Sa, your Ravenbloom students, where you're much better on the attack than you are on the defense. Yeah, we're going to see a standard 2 energy card followed up by Kai'Sa to threaten the capture. If our Ari player moves into the Reaver's Row, we can retreat our Poro and potentially get another capture on the Reaver's Row. But we're going to be moving the Shield Poro to Aspirant's Climb because there's no point. We're not going to worry. We're not going to move in and burn a spell to kill a Pouty Poro when we don't need to. It's interesting. Does our Ari player want to develop or hold up responses? Because Kai'Sa is likely to be looking at things like Hedgetech Ray to kill this Poro and then get Kai'Sa in. Zonya's Hourglass. Zonya's leave up free, potentially representing Discipline on guard. It could be triple on guard. I mean, that would be a really bad hand considering this table. Could be Smokescreen, but Kai'Sa is likely not to attack into the Shield Poro because you'll lose 1 for the Kai'Sa Legend ability, and then the Shield Poro will get +1. So Kai'Sa's on free, Poro is on free.
It's a Stupefy.
Okay, so what we could be doing as Kai'Sa here is baiting interaction, but I think that's very brave because you could have just let that go and let that Shield Poro just go back into the Zonyas. I guess it depends on what else is in your hand.
Smokescreen?
Yeah, we are going to see a Kai'Sa Smokescreen. And now we can choose to respond. Kai'Sa's still on free, and Smokescreen brings our Poro back down to Earth, so the Poro's on 1. If you have like a Discipline, it's going to be a trade. Yep, there's a Discipline, which is going to force our Kai'Sa player to commit another resource, and then we still get to keep our Poro because of the Hourglass. Hedgetech? No, double Smokescreen. That is a commitment to try and seize control here. We want to protect this Kai'Sa, and this will also give us a draw, so it's going to give us a card back. But those Smokescreens are very good against some of the bigger Accelerate units, so that early commitment might come back to haunt our Kai'Sa player. We didn't see a Hedgetech Ray there at all, so we can probably be off of that. We didn't see a Voidseeker, or granted, the Voidseeker was going to be very risky to play. We could have gone Voidseeker Smokescreen, so you could probably make the read that...
And those last 2.
Yeah, Ravenbloom? Or
And
Watchful
we
Sentry?
get Noxus Hopeful.
Noxus Hopeful, fantastic card. Very high stats. It has a Legion ability where if it's not the first card you've played that turn, it costs 2 less. So you just get a 4 might unit for 2 energy, which is just absolutely ridiculous. I hope if we get like alternate art
We
promos.
are watching Ocean versus RTF Rift.
Ah, yes, our fabled Twitch chat. I should have that up on my side monitor.
Yeah, we do have an audience.
We do. Lusco Luna, a frequent tournament grinder, very high place finishes over in the Rift Labs event. Thursday Night Fight Night, we also saw them in the finals about 3 weeks ago. Probably one of the better Kai'Sa players currently in the online circuit. We're frequently seeing them in top 4s or better on their finishes. I always love watching those games. Yeah, we're going to see an unprotected Kai'Sa getting attacked by this Poro. This will be 4 versus 4, so the Ari player is going to have to commit something else if they don't want this to just be a straight trade.
Well, there was the on guard.
Yeah. That should be 4 versus 4.
Ah, sorry,
Yes.
Cedro. Next time.
Yeah, Cedro, you're currently silver status on our server. Like, how are you going to get to gold if you don't show up? You part-timer.
You can't say that.
Ah, it's just a casual. We get it. It's actually funny. Fight night that we just had over on Thursday. We had a couple of people from the server, regulars, playing, and the winner was CERN, actually, from our community. Somebody I've spoken to a lot, and it was actually quite hilarious because the way they played Master Yi mid range, but with like a Sona focus. And the whole conversation came back because they were like, "Oh, I just don't think Sona's playable." And then I was like, "Oh, no, out of spite, well, like I can definitely build this with Master Yi. It's good. We put it together, and then CERN was playing it for a while and was like, "Oh, this is actually pretty strong. Like I seem to be having really good results with it." Wasn't even going to play the event because I'm like, "Oh, there's not a deck I want to have fun with." Then I think Terrasadon managed to convince CERN to play, and they just go ahead and win the whole tournament. Oh, a Sprite Mother. This is a difficult card because you send that token in. Usually that's very, very good, but you're challenging a Shield Poro who goes up to 3, and then Ari's Legend ability gives you -1. So that Poro is very, very resilient. It's hard to attack into. Your primary way of dealing with Ari units is to use spells to kill them and then move in the battlefields. It's difficult to contest in a straight up fist fight because Ari plays lots of tricks. Cards like Smokescreen, Stupefy, Discipline, Unguard. You're fighting uphill if you want to win a might battle against Ari. We also have the Ari Alluring deployed to base, so that's going to be able to threaten a catch up. Currently, Kaiser's sitting on 4 points, so we are a little bit ahead, but there's no guarantees that that's going to be enough. Just keeping an eye out in case there's any judge calls or anything to that effect. I think
we're all good at the moment.
Good. Yeah. I haven't checked the secondary market, but I can't imagine that the alternate art signature Ari cards have gone down in value from China. I think they were about $700 for this signed one.
Like, we've only just got a secondary market.
Yeah, it's crazy. Their second set, I think, comes out in November or December as well. So their secondary market is quite well developed. It's interesting because like nobody was like Hook was not like baited Hook was worth nothing. And then cards like White Flame Protector were getting close to about $30 per card when you convert it up. And we're like, really? Baited Hook seems to be incredible for these online tournaments. But in China, they just weren't really valuing it, at least not for the initial regionals. I don't know what's happening at this point. I have to check out and see if there's some coverage or information. We do see that there are some unofficial tournaments being run in Italy right now, probably with proxies. Lots of cool results coming out of that. Strongly recommend you head over to Piltover Archive and use their events tab, and you can sort of get a finger on the pulse of anybody who's reporting events through that to keep an idea on how each of the local metagames are developing.
Just checking whether we've got some lag or not, because we are stopped at a standstill at the moment.
It has been a little bit jumpy, but we are being able to keep up with it, fortunately. We might be in the tank. It's just a question of, like, was there a judge call or something? And I've missed it. Let me just...
I'm looking and I can't see anything.
Okay, yeah, probably just in the tank having a little bit of a think. We have 14 minutes and 50 seconds on the round.
Here we go. We have a tasty Faith Oak dropped.
The Eggplant Man, as they call him in China.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I guess it does look like an aubergine.
Yeah. We just played the Sprite Mother and couldn't send a token in because we probably miscalculated what that combat outcome would be. We're 8 runes now, but we only have access to 1 blue, one mind rune. Lots of fury, though. We're playing a heavy fury split here. It's going to be at least 7-5. Which kind of makes sense if you're playing cards like Falling Star and stuff like that. If Kaiser has to play multiple spells in a turn, that's when Kaiser has to start paying power costs. Kaiser doesn't like paying power costs. That's why they usually accelerate because they don't have to pay them. And if you start forcing them to pay them with cards that have things like deflect, which is like why Pouty Poro is just so cool in the mirror match, as the ideal turn 1 play is to play a 2-drop pass, and then your opponent playing Kaiser wants to go 2-drop, leave 1 rune open so that they can threaten the Hedge Tech Ray. And then Pouty Poro just says, please Hedge Tech Ray me. It will cost you a rune, and I'll take rune advantage from there. Ikafian Rain, we're going to be opening up on this board. Unguard is going to be way less effective because we have 2 units in the base. So we're going to see... Yeah, we're going to make sure this Ari dies. So it's probably going to be 3 shots into Ari, and then 3 shots into the Poro.
I do love a good board clear.
Yeah, Ikafian Rain is very, very good. It's interesting that you see it in quite a few cases in the sideboard as opposed to the main deck. You'd think something that powerful would always make it to the main, but there are certain decks that it's just not good into. It does cost 3 power. So you use Kaiser to pay 1 of those powers, but it taps you out for an entire turn. It's more of a panic button than it is proactively doing things, unless you're so far ahead that you've got both units on the points, and then your opponent's trying to set up an army in base, and you just go, cool, I'm just going to slam this down and rinse your base to stop you ever getting back into the game. But yeah, Ikafian's going to be a very desirable card, especially in the secondary market. Aspirant's Climb? Yeah, we're playing to 9 points here.
Yeah, because we've got the Aspirant's Climb there. It looks like we've got some results coming in. We've got Jibs having their opponent apparently a bit of parents' evening tonight, or something like that. They were in a school, not quite sure why. And we've just got Kejius winning against Pyro 2-0.
Yeah, Kejius was the winner of our first Bandle Blitz, so I'm expecting great things from them. They've been a very successful player. As they played this, I believe they beat Lusco Luna in a very tight 2-1 finish in our first Bandle Blitz. And if you are just tuning in for the first time, we do have our coverage up on our YouTube channel. You can go check that out over at Matorgus Plays, and you can catch up like all of our feature matches. We generally tend to catch the main game that we're watching, and then we also catch the end of one of the other games. You can get some of our banter and just more coverage in general. And everything's time-stamped through, so you can go through and find feature matches you're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're watching currently on YouTube, please press the subscribe button, which makes the subscribe button glow a little bit. Don't know if you know that. And yeah, just thanks for watching. Please leave a comment. Also, in chat, for the people watching currently live, say hi. Tell us what you're thinking about the plays. Ask us questions about, I don't know, baked beans. I don't know why baked beans, but it's questions I get asked a lot by anyone who isn't from the UK.
Like, what are you thinking? It's like, well, usually I've just woken up, so not a lot.
Wow, we got 2 tasty Fey folk talking about beans.
Oh, yeah, we're just slamming 2 big boys in to score double points. These are really obnoxious because when you kill them, they give you 2 runes and they let you draw cards. So they replace themselves, and they also give you the rune acceleration. We're already at 11, so that's going to be minimal value. This is usually what allows the Ari deck to get... sorry, Cedro, that is so tilting that you even suggested that. Like, tuna and baked beans, this madman. Okay, to be fair, culturally, you're from the US, so we're a little bit different, but yeah, you wouldn't put tuna and baked beans. These tasty Fey folk are usually just like really difficult. And also in Ari, since we have that legend ability, you need to swing with at least 7 might to trade with one, and that never feels good. Thousand Tail Watcher, this is very good. This is going to allow us to get our units in. But even so, that Noxus Hopeful will be reduced to 3, which will match one of the tasty Fey folks. And the one that's on Reaver's Row can just be returned to base and then be able to attack again. So ideally, we're going to 8 points this turn. Mm-hmm. And that opens the door for Kaiser to be able to go for another Thousand Tail Watcher. Our Kaiser player, because of the Ikafian Rain they played earlier, are not going to be able to threaten a 10 energy Time Warp next turn. So that gives our Kaiser player a chance to sees initiative, but another Thousand Tail Watcher is going to be pretty strong.
Most definitely. Okay, we've got the Noxus Hopeful and the Party Poro moving in on that other Tasty Fae folk. There's not going to be any response from Ari here. They don't have any resources to be able to do that. The death knell for Tasty Fae folk. If you don't have 2 runes to channel, do you just
you
channel
get as many
one?
as you can? Yeah, you just channel one.
No worries.
Here's the thing: Ari's legend ability triggers for each unit that attacks in, and that basically means that we're going to have 3 versus 4. And then our Tasty Fae folk is just going to munch whichever unit is more valuable. So we're just going to trade there. We draw a card, we channel our rune, and then Mighty Poro can just move in. What's very difficult for the Ari player to get into here is that even if they have a Thousand Tail Watcher of their own, they're playing Reaver's Row, and Reaver's Row is very resilient to any accelerate units because you can just move your unit back. We could potentially have retreat as well to retreat our Thousand Tail Watcher and just slam it down again next turn. We cannot send... We have to be able to answer both battlefields because we're currently threatening a hold to 9. Difficult spot for Ari. So Ari could take one side and go for a Time Warp, but that would be... You'd still only get to 7 points then. You'd still be 2 points away from the game and you'd be putting a large commitment in. Okay. We move forward and say, do you wish to use Reavers? And I don't think you necessarily have to risk it. The question's been asked, are you using Reavers? And you could say, no, I'm okay to see how this plays out. If you're holding a retreat, you're very happy to just sit there and not use the Reavers. Because you have the panic button and you get to get your opponent to commit their energy. We are taking it. Okay. So we may have another Thousand Tail Watcher in our hand. Because Ari might consider retreat. They're playing their own retreat. Okay, so they're going to accelerate their Tasty Fae folk onto Aspirant's Climb. So they're able to get both points clear and... Ooh, yep. They'll get both points clear and then they will be able to score and go to 7.
Looks like we've got more and more results coming in. Terrasadon is 2-0 against Entropy.
That is great.
is 2-0 versus G-Trax.
Terrasadon got knocked out of Rift Maxing, which was a tournament that's held a little bit earlier today, by Entropy in round 3. So that is a revenge.
The revenge.
Yeah, we're going to be playing our reaction to pick up the Pouty Port. Oh, that ramp. Okay, so the important part there is that we will go to 10. So as Kaiser, we can be pushing for a Time Warp victory. We've left 3 runes open as Ari, so we are saying we might have Wind Wall, but we could just, for example, move our Thousand Tail Watcher into the Reaver's Row and then play Time Warp. And we do have enough runes because of the Kaiser legend ability.
Just a reminder for anybody who doesn't know it.
Yeah, Door of the Void, reaction, tap me, gain a power, used to play spells. It's just like, this is the most ridiculous legend ability in the entire game. There's good ones, but that one seems to be the most impactful. So yeah, probably looking at a Time Warp. We could even just try and go for a holdout here to be completely fair, because actually that would be quite difficult, because if we do this and don't have Time Warp, our Ari player almost certainly will. Oh, we don't have the Time Warp. I don't. Is it Cleave with this Darius?
Could be.
I don't like this. This is a little bit dangerous. You have to kill that Tasty Fae folk 3/3 runes, and now you no longer need to present a Wind Wall to your opponent. I mean, you could still have Wind Wall against a big play, but Darius goes to 7, and when you attack in, the Ari Legend reduces it to 6, so it would trade with the Tasty Fae folk. But you are then threatening the holdout with the Thousand Tail Watcher.
Falling Star.
Pew pew. Okay, that's good, because that's
Tasty Fae folk down to 6, from 6 to 1. No, it's killing it.
Just kills it.
Yeah. Dang.
We cook that aubergine. And then Darius will ready and can present the ability to take the game. So go to 9 points. So the Ari's got 3 open and they're holding 5 cards in hand. I'd be surprised if they have 0, but they might decide they just want to hide it. They could potentially just play something like Discipline or On Guard, and then the opponent follows up with a smokescreen. I think we've seen 2 smokescreens already. So that would be a little bit unlikely. There's only 3 runes left over. They could also go Void Seeker on top if you do use the On Guard or something. So I think it's Ari. Yeah. Oh, we're paying 3. We're going for a Wind Wall. We did have the Wind Wall. We were trying to bait our opponent into a Time Warp, and that would have just lost the game on the spot. If that gets countered, and then you play your own Time Warp, which is going to happen, that's probably why our Kai'Sa player, Ocean, didn't go for it, because they're like looking at the runes and they're like, if I get Windwalled here, I just lose the game on the spot. And now they're in a really bad position because they need to play something else to ready this Darius. Void Seeker, we're going to be trading our Darius into our Tasty Fey Folk, because it's going to be 6 versus 6. We have put 4 damage on the Fey Folk, but we still compare their active mites when resolving damage. So we have Darius is 7 against the 6, and then Ari Legend ability reduces that Darius down. So that's going to be a trade, but this will prevent Ari from being able to Time Warp, and they have to answer their opponent's Thousand Tail Watcher. And we're going to channel 2 runes. And that Thousand Tail Watcher is again very safely situated on the Reaver's Row. Just so good against anti-accelerate. But what you could do in theory is accelerate over to Aspirant's Climb and then play Charm to drag the Thousand Tailed Watcher. That would be very, very strong. And then you'd be able to leave runes up. But we have to answer the Thousand Tailed Watcher this turn.
There's a lot that could happen here, I think. There's a lot of resources that are out, but it looks like that. Oh, where are we going?
It is a Thousand Tailed Watcher, I would guess. It could be Tasty Fey Folk number 3, but probably Watcher. Yep, and we're just going to siege it straight into the Reaver's Row. We're going to retreat. Kai'Sa's going to retreat theirs. We have 4 runes open. It would be nice if we have Charm. It would be very nice if we have Charm. But again, the power costs that Ari can get away with playing, because all of its power is effectively spent on very specific cards. So that's going to be Time Warp, Accelerating Tasty Fey Folk, Ari, Defy. It's kind of like very difficult to spend power and then still get to enough runes to be able to play Time Warp. So
still 4 runes up over on RTF Rift's side. So there is a threat, or at least a bluff there of maybe I've got something that's going to stop you from being able to win this turn.
Yeah, it's going to be
Stupefy.
Get a little further in the deck. The Ari player has drawn 2 more cards than our Kai'Sa player this game, but in the grand scheme of things, that's not a lot. We do have 4 runes open, so we're going to Defy. That seems a bit desperate to defy the Stupefy there. You're basically trying to... Well, the cool thing with Ari here is that if you don't use the Reaver's Road to retreat, your opponent's Thousand Tail Watcher on its own cannot beat your Thousand Tail Watcher because they fight at a -1. That is time on the round. I need to tell everybody. So they need to complete their current turn, and then they have 5 additional turns to resolve the game. Although I imagine this is going to be resolved pretty quickly. So let me just come down here.
Yeah, I'm just saying time on the round, depending on who... Yeah, it's anybody's game here at the moment, I think.
It's very close.
Yeah. What are we doing here if they do draw? Do draws exist in Riftbound?
Draws do. Yes, draws do exist.
Just let people know.
Yeah, just doing that now. How many results do we have outstanding? I believe it's just this one, right?
There is 3 when I last checked, but I'm going to look it again. Refreshing my page. Yep, there's 3.
And time was called on Ocean's turn, so at the end of that, it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Ari is going to get the final turn of time. But the Ocean may be able to tie this one up and get it to a draw. They do currently have
the judge
Void
poll
Seeker.
there. Somebody's just asking, does a time warp count as 1? Oh, Void Seeker being defied.
That's good.
Looks like a game just finished, and Poldy took the game against Counterfeit 2-0.
That's a good thing with Time Warp. I hadn't considered that. Does it take one of the turns? Yes, I mean it does, but I might have to make a specific ruling for our tournament about fairness for that. I don't believe that's in the FAQs yet.
Let me just have a look. Oh, Ocean left the game. GG.
Yeah, GG.
So let's bring it over back to us. And that's not right. Why is that gone to the wrong thing? I know why it has. It's because I need to go and click on you. There we go.
Hi there, everyone.
Sense.
So round 1 being picked up by Ari, which is great. We've obviously seen a lot of development for the meta game, specifically around the Kai'Sa matchup. What I find really interesting is anybody playing the off Kai'Sa decks that are still grinding out in tournaments and still committing to that have improved dramatically over the past few weeks of really understanding the micro interactions of those matchups, as you have to, because your cards are generally just less value than what Kai'Sa's offering. So when you see somebody playing a set, your usual first thought isn't, oh, great, I've got an easy matchup. It's like, oh, God, this person's put so much time into set. Like they must have if they've decided to bring that over any of the other available options. Players like Tog, who are an absolute monster on set, performing very, very well. So even when you see sort of like a Yasuo and you go, oh, great, this matchup should be super easy, it's still incredibly intimidating because you're just like, oh, why are you playing Yasuo? Card availability isn't an issue. You're online. All the cards are free. So it's something that you kind of always wonder is like they're either new and don't quite get the game, but if they're an experienced player and they're playing something off, you're like, okay, great, this is going to be like a really rough game for me. Yeah, they know something I don't know.
There is a little chatter going on at the moment about whether Time Warp will increase the amount of turns that are being played. And Counterfeit just said, infinite overtime technique. Judges hate this one trick that makes them miss their train home. That's funny. We're just waiting for the last result to come in. I don't think there's much point joining right at the end of their game, especially in time. So here we are. I'm very much enjoying this game. Just in general, it's a very interesting TCG, and I think there's going to be a lot that goes for it. Yeah, it's not even out yet over here, and we still have a lot of people that are picking it up and playing it. And just trying to win a little bit of money from it. And tournament card games that offer really good prizing always seem to be the ones that last, as long as they are supported and supported in the right way when it comes to physical organized play, as we've seen many times before with other TCGs.
It's super interesting, right? When you build your card game around your competitive player base, you run the risk that those players will just move on to the next greatest and biggest thing that's offering more cash than you. So you can't really depend on your competitive players to carry your game. Mm-hmm. It's very easy to do it because you just go, cool, we're just going to take some of our marketing budget, we're going to allocate it to this big organized play event. But it doesn't guarantee success. You really need to build it up from the grassroots. You need people wanting to go to the local stores to play. And once you generate those people that want to come back week on week, the bigger tournaments are going to fill out. They're always going to fill out the big tournaments anyway, especially if you've established a game and built it up. And then that's when the secondary market starts becoming valuable because you've got a critical mass of players and you've got enough tournament players to justify the demands of those cards. But if you focus just on the competitive players, they are fickle. They will jump from game to game if they're pricing better. So you risk them running off to play Flesh and Blood or Lorcana or the next Bandai game that comes out. Like, it's like a lot of options available. So it's a very bad idea to build around it. And it was super interesting. I wrote an article on my blog a long time ago, The Other Side. I haven't updated that in a long time. That explored a concept I called the game plan, which is how do you build a successful TCG? I used Versus System as an example of somebody who completely followed the game plan, had all the money, had everything set up, and then it didn't work out. And it was interesting that everybody was trying to get into the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour space at the time Magic was trying to get out of being the Pro Tour sport.
Yeah, I mean, that again, it's Versus System's interesting because I was a pro player at Versus System, and those big tournaments were always fun. They were always great, and they always drew a lot of people, and it just kept building up and building up and building up. And I think that one of the major drawbacks that happened was your onboarding journey for that kind of game gets more and more convoluted because they were introducing 3 keywords a set. And if you weren't familiar with a set that existed kind of like 2 years ago, the keyword wouldn't necessarily be explained on a card because they would just expect you to know it. So yeah, it was interesting because back then, obviously, when I was playing, it was like 14, 15, and I was picking it up pretty well. But yeah, and eventually we did have a lot of issues with particular players who were cheating and all sorts of stuff like that, and just kind of tarnishing the way that the tournaments would run. And you'd know, for example, you'd sit across from a player and you'd be like, we know what you're doing here.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate part about prize-based events, especially when there's like a lot of prize money on the line. It can bring out the worst in people. We assume that people are playing with good intentions, but you do end up with people that potentially the clout from winning is more important than the prize money, and it causes people to let their ego get in the way of just taking a loss and going, I'll just play better next time.
It looks like the pairings are up. We just had one more person drop just as the round was paired. So it looks like Counterfeit is going to get a win out of that. Which is all good. Just gonna say don't start until we say to.
Yeah, I already know which one I want as a feature match. We're going to be grabbing Jibs, the owner of Rift Labs. I believe they're the owner of Rift Labs.
I mean, if they're not, the Rift Labs adjacent. So
yeah, they're from the Rift Labs crew. I'm pretty sure they own Rift Labs. To be fair,
no, very cool.
You've posted round 2, yeah.
Yeah, I've already posted. And I'm going to just do this little thing here. Tristana's going to appear and tell you which round it is.
Time for a Bandle City beatdown.
Okay. Let's see if I've got a direct connect code yet.
I've just sent you one.
Yeah, excellent. We'll jump in, and then we can start round 2. We're really a lot smoother than last time, let's put it that way.
Yeah, we were on a different platform, and we had a lot of people no-show in round 1, and then you tried to drop them in round 2, and there wasn't a way of doing it. And we tried to go in and say, okay, cool, we're going to repair the round, and we'll drop all of these people, and then it just unwrit all the results from round 1, and it was a bit of a fiasco. So we decided, hey, let's just switch to a tournament software that's just very clean and easy to use. We're still very small, so
yeah. It does actually look like they may have already started playing.
Let's just jump into it.
So
then.
Let's just jump straight into it. Okay. Do you want to just let people know the official start of the round going up, Matt?
Yeah, I'm just going to set the clock.
Reset the rounds there. So it looks like it is Kaiser who is being played by Jibs, I believe. And Poldy is at the top playing Darius.
Oh, a Darius treat.
Mm-hmm.
I do like a Darius game. Some Ducks just wants to watch the world burn. I like these game mats. Try to find something fun.
Treferian Warcamp is being played over on Poldy's side, and on Jib's side we have the Dreaming Tree.
Yeah, Dreaming Tree, very good at just allowing you all of your cards like Cleave, Retreat to give you addition, basically replace themselves, allowing the cards to do more of what it wants to do. Trifarium Warcamp, very strong for army-based decks, which Darius definitely is. We try and build a massive field, then we use Baited Hook to underpay for ridiculous units. It also puts some of your key units out of range of Kaiser spells. So, for example, this Noxian Hopeful is, when it's fighting in Trifarium Warcamp, it's very comfortably on 5, so you can't just Void Seeker it. It will require additional stuff. So it makes it some of the math a little bit awkward for Kaiser players in Trifarium Warcamp. And we did see it pop up in Presto's Ari list because of that, because it just lets some of your units get a little bit out of the way. Yep, we're going to be seeing the Noxian Hopeful come to challenge the Poro. That Retreat is going to ramp and also draw a card. Very, very strong on Dreaming. Retreat is just such a good card. I do wonder about the wisdom of giving blue basically everything. It's like, really? It also needed that?
Yeah,
Yep,
and Counterfeit was just saying when we were having that conversation about the potential for people to be cheating up in higher level of play, saying it's very stressful when you know that your opponent will probably cheat given the opportunity. And that's one of the things that I like about the Bandle Blitz. We don't really offer any prizing, and it's a completely free tournament. It's just time for you to come in, play test, or just play something silly, just to essentially get a role saying that you've played in the tournaments on our Discord server. If you want to join our Discord server, there is a QR code directly above my head, or you can find it in the about down below. Really fun people. Last time we were talking that we had just over 100 members. We're now nearly over 160. So we are growing quite rapidly. Come on and join the fun. There's a Stupefy coming out, which is going to target Kaiser even.
Kasai.
Kasai.
Yeah, it's usually me that's getting everybody's names wrong. It's worse when you do it with player names.
Another Stupefy.
Okay.
Jibs is just making Poldy stupid. Just constantly.
Oh, it's the Falling Star tech, yeah. Basically, we get to drop 2 units that have 4 might. You expect them to be safe into Falling Star, but the Stupefies, which also replace themselves, you don't even lose card advantage to do that. We get the double cleanup, and then the Lecturing Yordle is going to be able to take the Dreaming Tree, equalize the score out, and we could potentially leave 4 up, available to Void Seeker, a potential Vayne, or even Smokescreen if Vayne comes out from Darius. Darius plus card comes in. We could be going... We probably wouldn't Void Seeker in that situation. So I guess just the question is, like, how do you contest a Darius if you decide... if you're going to move the Lecturing Yordle in, which you kind of want to get your score back on track, because you're going to start falling behind if you don't. But if you haven't got a way of contesting the Darius, we're going to go trade for the Poro, and we're going to cleave. Okay, so this is also cool, because it basically means that Darius is discouraged from moving into the Dreaming Tree, which will help prevent the Darius player being able to get some additional cards. And we've also got a Pouty Poro, which again is great because a lot of these Darius lists do play Falling Star. It's not as common to be played in maximum copies because the power cost is very relevant and you're playing a very heavy order deck. So you can't really afford these power costs. They will creep up on you. Unless, of course, you already have your Bait and Hook established and you just start underpaying for stuff. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see how we navigate this turn.
Yeah, I agree with Counterfeit. That Starify tech is just nasty. It is very nasty.
Yeah, it catches people completely off guard. It's like when people do it with Thousand Tailed Watcher and they shrink everything on the board and then they just like nuke 2 cards and then run the Watcher in and kill 4 cards. We are going to be seeing Darius deployed. Now we've got access to the Legion ability of the Legend, which will allow us to gain an additional energy. So we technically have free energy to play with this turn.
That's something I've noticed in this game, that a lot of decks can just very, very easily ramp up, regardless of whether that's their goal or not.
Yeah, if you just stop spending power, you quite quickly catch up on runes, or rather get to develop stuff. The issue is that your cards without power costs are generally weaker than the cards with power costs. So if you're spending it early, you're going to get an early lead. If you're spending it in the mid game, you should take control of the mid game. Or you're going for like huge late game stuff, so you just got to survive the first 2 phases. You can't just play all the best cards with power costs at the moment. might get into a point where decks can consistently get seals and do that. We've seen what happens when you let a deck do that, which turns out to be Kai'Sa. So it'll be interesting to see how deck building develops. The players are getting better and better for sure. And Counterfeit, yeah, we are very happy to be as educational as possible. Class is now in session for sure. Wait, Cedro, what Spud Bro videos are you talking about?
That's a whole thing I'll show you. There's apparently up north, more north than I am. There's a TikTok is called the Spud Bros, and they're a baked potato van, and they serve baked beans and tuna, and it just became a big meme.
I'll tell you what, that smells like heresy. Just saying. The Emperor is not pleased.
Gosh. So we got another trade there. Voidseeker onto the Pouty Poro.
Yeah, I like that. We're trying to simplify the game state as much as possible. Darius hasn't found their hook, and Kai'Sa has access to just being able to take a ton of stuff. We could just accelerate our Kai'Sa out, but we are going another Electro and Yordle. Keep that grind going, and we're going to threaten a double score if we've got another unit. Is it another Pouty Poro? No, it's a Noxus Hopeful. Even better! We get to get the Noxus Hopeful down and Electro and Yordle, threatening the double score. And another Darius. Oh, it's Draven time. Draven getting +1 might for each point that you have. And then we get to get the Triforian Glory Seeker, because it's the second card we play. We're going to buff it. So we've just managed to catch 2 units that are better than Kai'Sa's units right now.
Gosh, when Draven comes out next set, because it's already been teased, I think I'm going to be insufferable. Absolutely insufferable playing against me.
I'll tell you what, one of my favorite League of Legends moments, which is weird thing, is when Tyler 1 officially got unbanned, and they came back for their first stream, and they were making, I think someone figured out they were making like $30,000 an hour with that first stream. And he shows up in a full Draven cosplay. So he's got his chest out, he's got the mustache, he's got the wig on, and he's, because he was like a Draven main. And it was just like all in on this Draven thing. It was the first stream back. It was just like actually insane. We're going to see the Noxian Hopeful move into the Trifarian War Camp. That's going to score and also be at 5. Kai'Sa gets to conquer on the Dreaming Tree, and that's going to draw a card and also score. These Ravens can be a little bit challenging, especially if you can score quite quickly early. The Kai'Sa player generally runs into a bit of issue killing them because they get pretty massive. It basically forces that kind of like Smokescreen Falling Star combo, or if Draven's on a point, Voidseeker, it gets a 2-for-1 effectively, which is very good if you've got if you played the Darius off the hook. If you played the Draven off the hook, because then you haven't actually paid the full cost for the unit. The Codex Astartes does not support this takeout. I agree.
So, what do you think we're going to get in set 2? I need to say set 3 then. Set 2 isn't even, the first set isn't even out. But the champions that we kind of know we're probably going to be getting, is there anything that you're looking forward to? And what do you think maybe they'll be able to play? That's the second Draven coming down and a Noxus Hopeful.
Yeah, this army is starting to get pretty big, and we know that Darius, I was about to say Draven then. We know that Darius plays Grand Stratagem, which makes it very good for the double conquer. But what we're going to see here, as we're so far ahead, is probably a full retreat of our units. The only reason to not do that would be to prevent the Dravens from getting 2 points bigger, 1 point each. 2 points each, effectively, because you'll take 2 points and they'll score 2, and then they'll get quite far out of range. But you could be considering a full retreat. But if you've got the Time Warp, you slam it down here and just win the game. But I imagine if Chips had the Time Warp, they would have just played it.
Oh, Darius?
Are we going to make our opponent fight for these battlefields, or are we going to go for the retreat, Thousand-Tail Watcher? We could make them fight for it. Now that we've got double Darius in base, I think I'm quite happy to just make my opponent try and split their army to fight for this. Yeah, that feels pretty good to me. Oh, okay. We're just gonna move a Poro and call back the. Why would we leave our Poro there?
Good question. Because of the deflect, but even then.
Oh, I guess. Oh, we've probably got a Stupefy and we want to draw off the Dreaming Tree. That would be an option.
Retreat.
Do we have Cleave? Yeah, if we have Cleave, we're going to be playing it on our Darius. So this is a double draw option here, but we're very, very far ahead as Kaiser right now. We've got quite a good points deficit, 3 points deficit, which will get closed to 5 this turn, but Kaiser's threatening game next turn. Imperial Decree, that's not particularly useful in this instance. So Imperial Decree costs 5 and 2. Yeah, okay, we're getting a concession. So that retreat was actually really, really good, because what Imperial Decree allows you to do is just mean when a unit takes damage this turn, you kill it. So you send in a bunch of your dorks, your recruits, to just go in, and that kills them. Yeah, so basically, the recruit deals 1 damage, the recruit takes damage back, and you just basically nuke everything off of points. Very good into decks like Master Yi that rely on holding with superior stats, and you say, the stats don't matter. Your guy got a scratch, he got tetanus and died.
So just because that suddenly very ended, was that Jibs that took that game?
Yeah, that was a very clean victory to Jibs.
Cool. Just making sure. You never know.
Yeah, Jibs already has their ticket to Houston. Very, very excited to see how they perform in that tournament.
Yeah, it'd be great to just not only just for the channel, but just in general, to be able to, whilst people are in, maybe even in Houston, just be able to talk to people that are there. Maybe just through Discord, just so we can kind of find out what the event's like in any way, shape, or form. It'd be really good to hear from some of the competitors there that we've got within our community too.
Yeah, and we always invite you, if you find cool people that are just generally fun to play, or people that are looking to play competitively, they might be the same person, you never know. I should be respectful of that. Invite them to the server. There is an invite link you can use just to get them in, just to keep growing the community out. We'll always love to have more people.
Yeah, I'm just going to grab another invite link and just throw that into the chat as well for anybody that's watching that isn't already a part of our community.
Candlelit Sanctum versus Arena's Greatest. Arena's Greatest is a very aggressive battlefield. It basically means each player starts the game with an additional point. It's the opposite of Aspirant's Climb. And Candlelit Sanctum is kind of a bit of a do-nothing battlefield. Like, it does add consistency to decks. It's very good for Darius because they get more knowledge before they use their baited hooks. But it's probably Kaiser's last battlefield is going to be Targon's Peak, and they probably want to be playing that when they're going first. So we choose our one that we're just less good on in this situation. Turn 1, Darius is going to be coming out with a Pouty Poro. No red runes being found. We have a full pass from Jibs. So no Lecter and Yordle. We've left 3 up. We could potentially be presenting either Voidseeker or Hedgetech Ray. And this is where a lot of people run into some issues. It's just a case of like, do I push that turn 1 play into my opponent's removal spell? And in this case, we do. But that can come back to haunt you a little bit later, especially if there's baited hook here. No, it's going to be our faithful... Is it Faithful Engineer or Faithful Mechanic? I always forget
it's a manufacturer, so neither.
Okay. Yeah. Either or neither. Just neither.
For there, bringing that Kaiser into play.
Yeah, Kaiser leave 1 up, presenting another Hedgetech Ray, but the Noxus Hopeful isn't too fussed about a Hedgetech Ray. We get the double score here, which is very good for our Darius player. To talk a little bit about set 2 whilst these players are deciding their turn, like, what we can generally assume for Legends is if they've got a champion already in set 1, we're probably going to be seeing those Legends first because you can use them as chosen champions. It's not always guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Obviously, we get something like Orin, which we have 0 references to at this point, but cards like Caitlyn could show up. Shen is going to be really exciting because the Shen card is pretty good. It's playable. It doesn't fit into a lot of strategies. It's starting to show up a little bit in set, but being able to just jump set in from your champion zone as a defender is going to be pretty ridiculous. It's probably less impactful when your opponent can see it, but you're just threatening surprise 5 might out of nowhere.
I really want a Braum deck that just exclusively wants to use Poros. Just
I'm
a stall deck, just a wall deck would be fantastic.
I'm really hoping that the legend ability is going to be you can play Poros of any domain, regardless of their color affiliation, and Embron be green body. I think that would be very, very strong. Okay, Kaiser's going to get a score on Candlelit Sanctum, draw an additional card. This army for the Darius players is starting to get a bit big. The Vanguard Captain last turn being able to put 2 additional bodies down to recruit Dorks. We are at 7 open runes, and we got quite a big hand for our Kaiser player versus Darius, who's pretty all in. Again, we've not seen another baited hook, and this is the problem that you have with these Darius lists, is that a lot of their strength gets diminished if they just don't see a baited hook, or if they whiff on it. Like, their ability to have good matchups into everything and having a high power ceiling is diminished by the fact that you lose consistency. It's the same with the Aurora decks. Like, if you don't draw Aurora at all, you get run over by something like Kaiser, which is going to execute its plan every single game. Like, it's just, all of my cards say draw card. I'm going to get there. Like, I've said this on multiple streams, but it's just bears worth repeating. It's just worth repeating. Ikafian Rain to shoot down this army. Oof. Yeah, that is a nuke. And Darius has zero way of responding to that.
They're going down. We don't know if they said timber.
We could definitely say it. Oh, days. That is strong. But we do retain 2 recruits, so it's not completely out. We can score again, at least, but the game is slipping away from us at this stage because we are very low on cards. And our colors don't necessarily play ways to draw cards. The Darius coming out, so this is the best time for Darius to clear up the Kaiser. And we get to take advantage of our Legend Legion. Baited hook has been found, finally. But we'd have to pay the power to get its effect. But we will get rid of the Kaiser, draw, and we can use Candlelit Sanctum to have a peek at our top 2 to make sure our baited hook is looking pretty good. But now when we start hitting things like Spectral Matron, we can get back our Vanguard Captain, and we can rebuild the army we just got thrown under by Ikafian Rain. So that is a very, very strong comeback. You don't have a lot of cards, but when you start playing cards massively under rate from your deck, you can catch up. But how we get to Spectral Matron is going to be an interesting one, because our recruits currently only have 1 might, and Baited Hook allows you to, if you want to hover over the Baited Hook, it allows you to play a card from your top 5 that has 1 might greater, up to 1 might greater. So you just start effectively growing turning your army into better units, like all your dorks get promoted. Although it's kind of grim if you think about it. What you're doing is you're attaching that recruit to a fishing hook and then throwing it into the ocean to try and find something bigger.
Ooh,
out comes a Stupefy. Draw, probably our own Darius, or we needed a draw here. It's a question with Kaiser. It's like, do you bring in the Thermo Beams in this matchup? Potentially. You're already playing them in the side deck for Aurora. It's 5. It could be it's Darius. Darius will kill Darius. There's no way to protect that. Score, and we'll take advantage of Candlelit Sanctum. Yeah, look at the top 2. Candlelit is very good. And you don't hate it if your opponent is conquering it. Obviously, it increases their consistency, which is great in a deck that's less consistent, but it's not like God Willow, where if your opponent gets control of it and you can't take it back, your own battlefield just costs you the entire game. Like, you just lose. Or Shield Formation, where if they get onto it, then you just cannot take it back. You just lose the game by your own battlefield.
Looks like you've got a judge call over on table 9.
Oh,
if you want to just quickly jump into that.
Missed that.
It's just been called.
Okay, thank you for keeping an eye on it. I've got this on full screen. Come here. Judge call.
Ravenbloom student coming down.
I do? Oh, no, it just says 2-0 against Ocean. That's our RFT.
You've got an at saying Judge Table 9. You don't want to
Judge
scroll down.
Table 9?
Yeah, in General BB.
Oh, yeah, judge table 9. Okay, cool. Let me just jump in and sort it out.
Oh, table 8, not 9. But
Table
anyway.
8. Yeah, I was going to say, we're on table 9.
Yeah, it's very interesting that, yeah.
I'll be right back.
No worries. Okay, we've got a Draven coming down. And it's an absolutely huge Draven. That's a good 9 might that they've got there. Let's see where it goes. Retreating the recruit. Leaving it open. So that's going to be a hold for the first point. Going up to 5 this turn, more than likely. Yep, there it is. Dropping down. So that should be 6. Not sure whether Arena's Greatest has been being counted here. But we'll see. What have we got coming down now? Oh. Grand Stratagem. Getting those weenies up to absolutely huge amounts to be able to take it back. That's why we had that retreat there. Very tactical to make sure that this turn we were hitting with the heavy hitters. The more I see of these Darius, I think that it's going to be one of my choices to be able to play. Do enjoy a good weenie rush, which doesn't say, which out of context. I've been saying weenie rush for maybe 20, I'll say 23 years of my life at this point. And not once have I thought, hey, don't say that, because it sounds so wrong outside of any context. See if you took it out of a card game context. Gosh. Yeah, we are looking for volunteers to help judge during these events, so if anybody would like to give us a hand every so often, absolutely fine. Just let us know if you're happy to help us judge. If you're not playing in the event as well, obviously, because you don't want somebody to be judging and playing at the same time. Yep, and there comes in all those weenies to try and take out that Darius. I nearly said Draven then. I think I've caught that off of Matt. Yeah, not a lot is going to save you from, 6, 12, 14, 20, 26. Huge.
I judge my opponent unworthy.
What are we thinking? Is it going to be a pullback from Jibs here? We're going to try and go into game 3, or do we think that Jibs is just thinking how we're going to get past this wall? Yeah, counterfeit in the chat there saying judges in real life get annoyed if you say that every time they're called over. I do actually have a really fun. Oh, it looks like the call may have dropped with Matt, so I'm just going to get that back up and running. Welcome back in, Matt.
Hey, thank you. Sorry, just had a judge call. We just got that all sorted.
Yeah,
how are things looking over here?
We've got the Grand Stratagem down, and it looks like we've got a 26 going into our opponent's Darius here.
Darius is going to get a little bit bullied here, but the question is, what does he take with him? You could be looking to take out that Draven with a smoke screen or get some damage down. Voidseeker?
Voidseeker, yeah. That could take down one recruit.
No, we're going to try and strip the Draven down.
Likely.
If it's out of Fox range, it becomes a huge threat. Yeah, we can get the smoke screen.
There it is. Bring it down as much as possible. So that's... Yeah, still not quite there yet.
Well, Darius will be able to get the cleanup, but we are...
True. We are losing the Darius at this point. Not much that can be done about that, I don't think.
Yeah, if we had one more, we'd be able to take out one of these recruits and the Darius.
I do just to finish my anecdote there, Counterfeit. It's a story that goes around in the judge circles back in the day about a judge call that happened to a friend of mine who very impassioned Italian player that was there who was very upset that he was attempting to be rule shocked essentially, and his response to this was, "You lie to me, you lie to the judge, you lie to yourself," which I think is one of the hardest lines ever spoken at a tournament.
Oh, the drama of it all. What else do we have? We do have another... Is that smoke screen number 2 being played?
It does look like. Jib's having many, many answers.
Yeah, we're going to take a double kill here. That's quite strong. We are probably going to be seeing the baited hook eat the recruit to go fishing. Oh, we've got a response. It's to Hidden Blade. Kill the Darius. That is such a blowout. You get your opponent to tap out, trying to play all of their responses, and then you just keep all of your units anyway. And that's going to allow us to keep... I say us, it's not us playing. It's going to allow our Darius player to retain their showboat Draven, which is a lot of problems. And we could just go ahead and use this baited hook to sack our recruit and basically get anything out of our deck. As I said, even though our Kai'Sa player, Jibs, is holding a ton of cards, baited hook can flip a game entirely on its head as you just start pulling ahead in the energy race.
And there's the baited hook, like you said. We've just got some results coming in. Terra Sadon 2-0 against RTF Rift, who I believe we saw in our last round. T Simple T is 2-0 against Lord Pet.
Okay. Oh, we have the Kai'Sa coming out of the bait hook. We'd have loved to have seen a... I don't think you could have got away with Vayne there because the Ravenbloom student would have had plus a bunch of stats from all the spells being played. But we're on 7, threatening a hold, and we've got Draven in play. So we've just gone, okay, we're okay with a hold plan. If you are going to try to Thousand-Tailed Watcher, it's not going to be enough. Wait, hang on, is it? 7? No, yeah, so Thousand-Tailed Watcher would just trade with the Draven, and the other 2 units would score a holdout. So you've turned your opponent's Thousand-Tailed Watcher into a non-viable play, which is a really great way to play this Kai'Sa.
I'm thinking, just for future me, when I watch back this recording while I'm editing it, that we need to get a round timer up on the screen, just so we can keep an eye on how long we've been playing for.
Yes, I am tracking it on my phone. It's currently 20 minutes, 50 seconds left on the round.
Yeah, we'll have a nice place for player names as well. Yeah, I was about to say counterfeit. Player names are going to be coming as well. And that looks like it was a forfeit. So we're going into game 3, I believe.
Odie taking a game off Jibs. That is a scalp to take. Jibs is a very, very strong player. And just a hook immediately coming from a really bad situation. After you got Kafi in range, your whole team gets nuked. And you're able to come back from that because of baited hook. It's very, very strong card. And it's one that, again, we were very shockingly just did not see it during the Chinese regionals at all. Potentially just a consistency issues, not enough people testing it. There was a bunch of things in play that we just, I think in the final one, we saw exactly one Darius, which was just criminally underplayed. Great bait, mate. Rate it 5 out of 7. The internet lingo.
Okay, just gonna keep looking.
Okay, so we're going to be playing on Kai'Sa on Targon's Peak going first. That is a very strong battlefield for Kai'Sa.
No,
assuming it's being played.
It doesn't look like it's being played. We're going Reaver's Row. Reaver's Row against Candlelit Sanctum.
Okay, so I can see the logic of Targon's is actually just like almost always an auto-clue, so I do find that a little bit surprising. But I guess if you're playing expecting a lot of Kai'Sa mirrors, you don't really want to give them Targons at any point. So the Reavers is really interesting, especially into this matchup where you get to protect your units. Well, we saw it before. It lets us just not get run over by Darius or Vayne or a whole bunch of other stuff. We can keep our units in play. Turn 1 Ravenbloom student, the absolute best 2-drop in the entire game. 3 runes. Do we have Seal Vanguard Captain? We could go Noxus Hopeful with our Legion mana that we're Legion energy. Oh, okay, yeah, we're just going to go Trifarian Glory Seeker. Don't have a way of getting it triggered. Which means then we don't have a 2-drop in hand we wanted to play. If we had a Hopeful, we would have definitely played it there. So that Darius hand has to be pretty interesting. I guess you could read a hook of that. Because if we had the Hopeful, we slam it down. Because we're giving up a buff on our Glory Seeker by not doing that. If we had another 2-drop, we would have also developed. We may be holding up Hextech Ray to threaten this Ravenbloom. Assuming that the Darius player is playing it, because it does actually cost power here, so it would be a bit of a setback. I think we're probably going to see a turn 2 hook. Just thinking of what else you could be holding. You could be holding a bunch of Dravens, though. You could just have a bad hand.
It's true.
We do have a hold here, so we could be potentially considering the Hextech Ray. It's always interesting when you end up in these situations. It's like one of the weirdest things for making card reads, if you want to get better at it. It's like, what did your opponent actually not do? Like, what they didn't do gives you almost more information than what they actually did in a turn. You can psych yourself out by overthinking it, but if you think about like the lines that are preferred and then your opponent didn't do it, you'd have to think, well, why? What would they have in their hand that makes that play make sense? Like, they didn't do what they should have done, so that tells me something.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a skill that you can build upon. Void Seeker. Okay. We left 4 up, so we're expecting to Void Seeker back. Because we could have, again, right there, we could have played the Kai'Sa and we chose to leave 4 runes up. Void Seeker costs 3, so we could be looking at Void Seeker Tech, because we always had access to that Kai'Sa, so by not playing the Kai'Sa, we've given up information. We get the Vanguard Captain coming down after a Void Seeker. That's very strong. As we're now going to be able to get an army going. And Kai'Sa just burns free energy by not having anything to play into. By not pulling that Trifarian Glory Seeker forward, we deny Kai'Sa any opportunity to play any cards there. So this is going to be Darius, but... Oh, it's going to be Kai'Sa Accelerated. Yep. In this case, you just need to take a bit of initiative to get back over the fact that you lost 4 energy compared to your opponent. Bearing in mind that Darius is getting extra energy on every second card that they play, so they're already playing from a natural leading position based on their legend. Moving to the Reaver's Row, so we're going to be able to protect the Kai'Sa so that Darius can't come out. Because normally you wouldn't be able to do anything with the Darius, right? Because you pay the 5, bring it into play, you've tapped out. But that Legion ability on your legend just lets you cast Cleave out of nowhere. And it just makes some of these calculations much more tricky. So yeah, being on Reaver's Row, very, very well insulated against a Darius shove here. The Candlelit Sanctum is definitely up for grabs. Like, there's no way to stop Darius from taking it. They could send in the tokens one at a time. So they're 100% getting the Candlelit. The interesting part would be, what do we do to contest the Reavers, if at all? We might just develop the Draven. If we have Draven, we'll develop it. But we could just develop the Darius, but that would be quite vulnerable in the Falling Star. We already have a pretty good board to fall in star into, to be fair. Like, we could kill the Glory Seeker and the Vanguard Captain, but that would potentially get hard punished by Spectral Matron. See, this is what I love about this game. There's so much to consider at any given point, and I can just dive down all these different rabbit holes of backwards and forwards play.
Yeah.
And that pales in comparison to how much these players have probably tested these matchups to make their decisions in this case. And of course, they have information that we don't have.
Just done a very quick update to the stream layout, so now people can see which player is which.
Hey, always evolving.
Just making sure that it's all visible.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool. And we got this nice little bit of black space as well that we can use from TCG Arena. And thank you to everybody who's joining. Please support the channel, tell your friends. We'd love to make this as big as possible. And if you've not played online before, I'd strongly recommend that you jump on TCG Arena to get started. All right, let's see what happens next. Oh, baited hook. So the hook was there. I don't know if it was just drawn this turn. But we are going to now start grinding this out. Sacking the Vanguard Captain, we're fishing for the Spectral Matron, but we're also quite happy with anything like Draven or something like that.
Got a lot more results coming in. G-Trax versus Pyro. G-Trax took that 2-1, and Kejius versus Samsam. Kejius took that 2-0. So we're almost done with everybody else's games. How long is left on the round there, Matt?
We have 12 minutes, 45 seconds left on the round before we get to end of match procedure. So the players still have a bit of time to figure this out. I do, sorry if you hear the clickety clack of my keyboard. I'm just responding to a few important things. Bang. I could just press the mute button on my microphone. I'm going to start doing that out of courtesy.
You got that option.
Yeah, I have the option to just not be a douche. And I was just actively choosing to not use it. So let's try and work on that, right? Always choose to be better whenever you can. And if you can't be better, just pull whatever you need off of baited hook. Natural Matron being found, and then that's going to bring back the Vanguard Captain, and this army gets pretty ridiculous. And yeah, this is like part of the reason why Darius is just so strong. You have the opportunity to just pull out these fields off of your baited hook and get really, really big into anything, which means your overall power ceiling is high, because what you're threatening from next turn is grand stratagem with your whole team. We're behind on points against Kai'Sa, and Kai'Sa does have a card advantage, but we're pulling cards from our deck, and we've got a significant energy advantage on Darius. We're never going to run out of gas for as long as we can just keep using baited hook. We have multiple Spectral Matrons, we have Darius, we have Dravens, we have Vayne. Well, some lists are playing Vayne. I think Vayne's a very, very good card. I think I'd like to see more of it. I imagine it's going to become like one of those staples for Fury in the future, because it's just, oh yeah, Acafian Rain. If you're gonna have to fight back from this, Acafian Rain is a good one. So we can just strip all of the big units. That's helpful. Obviously, we still have the baited hook in play, but we like to see those. Going to 2 points, we're going to get the hold point from the recruit on the Candlelit Sanctum. Kai'Sa, again, very safe on that Reaver's Row. If you try to press out the Darius from your champion slot, the Kai'Sa will go back to base, and then the Kai'Sa will threaten to take Candlelit Sanctum to draw another card and score another point. So yeah, we are going to see the Darius being called. I do really like Darius. I think Darius is really, really cool. Especially in terms of like originally I was just thinking, oh, this is an aggro deck, and then Prismaticism pretty much established the archetype of Darius Hook. And a lot of other characters have tried to play Hook, but none of them are as dangerous as Darius.
Yeah, whilst you were doing the judge call, I was just saying that Darius is definitely one of the decks that I'm considering playing myself, and discussed how essentially what it is a weenie rush deck, and then started to question myself on how wrong the term weenie rush is, like out of context.
Yeah, I can imagine Draven would love being called a weenie. Like, I'd definitely say that to his face. Yeah, so you're going to see the Darius charge in, take the Reaver's Row. Okay, whilst the opponent's tapped out, you push the Kai'Sa in, and then it's like, that's sus. Of course I got to retreat my my Darius. So I get to keep the draw, and I get to take advantage of the defense ability of Reaver's Row again.
Absolutely huge hand. Is there no hand limit in this game?
No, there's no hand limit in this game.
My God.
They just decided, you know what, if you control your whole deck, you can hold your whole deck. That's fine. There's some like quality of life things that they do in this game where I'm just like, yeah, I like that. That's just really neat. It's just like, what's potentially the most fun, even if it's potentially broken in the future?
Falling Star.
Falling Star. We're trying to fight this army back. We're calling down all kinds of munitions to keep stripping this army down, but we're trying to fight against Baited Hook, which is just a value engine for days. We're probably getting a double score here again, so Darius is now pushing 2 per turn and still adding more stuff. So Kai'Sa's going to have to expertly navigate killing as many units or all the key units as efficiently as possible while scoring. And this Reaver's Row is going to be put in so much work, allowing Kai'Sa to dig for those multiple unit killing answers, and also making sure that you retain board presence. We left 5 energy up for Jibs. So that's we're ready to fight for this. But the thing is like, do you Hedge Tech Ray here? Like, your opponent's got 3 more recruits.
Yeah.
Doesn't feel great.
Stupefy?
Oh, Stupefy the Darius. Okay. And draw a card. We get to get a little bit deeper in the deck.
Yeah, what are we looking for in that deck? What are we trying to dredge out?
Probably looking for more copies of Kayfian Rain, potentially Thermo Beam. The issue is Thermo Beam should be very, very good against this, but it's very expensive. Normally, like, the Darius player has like 2 gears in play. They have the Baited Hook and they have the Yellow Seal, so that they can pay the Baited Hook cost without actually having to recycle a room. But if you're playing Kai'Sa and you know how prevalent Thermo Beam is starting to appear in sides, you probably never play your second Baited Hook until your opponent plays Thermo Beam. So as soon as your opponent plays Thermo Beam, you just establish another hook and carry on. Playing the second one would be risky.
What's that time warp?
Terrasadon? No. Oh. Yep, we're going to see a Seal coming down, and a Spectral Matron is going to be able to bring back the Vanguard Captain, and the army gets bigger. Even with all of these mass targeting effects, we are falling behind from the value engine that is coming out of Vanguard Captain and just reviving it repeatedly. Spectral Matron probably going to be finding a home in the Karthus deck. Karthus is a champion. They cost 3, that just all your death knell effects double trigger, and then Spectral Matron being able to get those back. Okay, yeah, we're just going to play another Spectral Matron and get back our Trifarian Glory Seeker, which is going to get a plus counter.
My gosh, that is a... Oof.
It's doing what Noxians do best. They show up with their band of merry men and just take all your land. They're very good at that. The lore behind them is so cool. I am interested to see in Arcane how they portray Noxus. It's sort of this dark industrial kind of city, whereas like Demacia is like kind of all light, small elite forces, like a completely different sort of mindset. In some ways, I did wonder if they were kind of like trying to portray America and Russia in some ways with like the styling, but the lore and stuff that they tell, they don't make Noxus the bad guys. They just happen to be looking evil. It doesn't mean that they are evil. They have a different way of living and stuff like that. It's really cool from that perspective, and it's really fleshed out from like when it first started, where I think the nations were a little bit shallow, and there's a lot of depth to them now. So the whole like universe of League of Legends is incredible.
Yeah, and then we get Rammus He says okay and wandered in
Okay,
from the desert.
Yeah, I don't. Some of the characters don't make sense because they look cool when they first made the game, like Alistair. And it's like, well, where does this even fit? Like, in the world that we've built now,
Yeah.
you have a home. We're not really getting monster characters anymore in League of Legends. I think you got a couple, but they said, I think originally that those characters saw like the least amount of play. Obviously, the e-girl stuff saw a lot of play. So they're always making skins for characters like Ari and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've retreated the Kai'Sa at this point.
You are right. There
We
is
can
no
just-
hidden cow level.
No hidden cow level.
Apart from that time, yes, actually, there was a hidden cow level in Warcraft for a bit, but not in Diablo. We don't talk about that.
It was the best way to farm experience in Diablo 2 for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just... this is like where a lot of cards that should feel very, very good, like Cannon Barrage in Body should feel good, but they're just not, because what you do is you just push the minimum amount of power in each turn to score these points. So we can just hold back this ridiculous army. There we go, we're going to see a Hedgetech Ray. We're going to hold back this ridiculous army so that we can maintain the biggest grand stratagem we can possibly muster, but we do also have to consider that Darius has paid a lot of yellow power to get down these Spectral Matrons. We can't currently play Grand Stratagem. It costs 6 energy. We'd need to hit another yellow, which I think the... to be fair, I'm talking nonsense. I think the Darius deck plays a 7... No, it plays an 8-4 split in order. So it probably means that our next 2 runes are 100% going to be... are going to be order ones. But yeah, we could have a time warp, actually. So we can't really under contest these battlefields. Because if Kai'Sa takes 1 and then we go to 6, we could time warp and then we could Fox, and that would get us there. So that big army, it's kind of... The time warp problem happens again, where you can either play around Fox or you can play around time warp.
Yeah.
If you were playing around Thousand-Tailed Watcher, sitting in base is the correct play. But then Time Warp just gets you obliterated, because they just throw it down next turn, and then Kai'Sa takes one of those lanes, and then they just accelerate something else out. Interesting. You just need to get through Kai'Sa's next turn. So I think just making...
Terrasadon saying, look at that hand, and that's exactly what I said. My immediate question was, are there hand limits in this game?
No, it should be... You'd suspect you'd have Exodia with that many cards. You'd hope so. Yeah, it's... this is to play around Thousand-Tailed Watcher, whilst also at least giving us some way to contest Time Warp Watcher, as that could be the next 2 plays from Jibs. And the problem is, the wider you go on a board, the more value you get out of the Thousand-Tailed Watcher. So yeah, we realistically, if we can get through Kai'Sa's turn, we're probably winning this game. And the set.
Yeah, it does look that way. How long we got left on time?
We have 50 seconds exactly. Yeah, so what we do is we just make sure that we have more than 7 after the Watcher effect, and then accelerating a Watcher will not be able to take down one of those battlefields on its own. So this plays around, as Tarsadon's now pointing out, this plays around the Time Warp Thousand-Tailed Watcher back-to-back play, but we could potentially see some other style of play coming out from Jibs. Maybe another Acacian Rain. Even then, that's not going to get a lot done. Those units are pretty fat. Darius is big.
Kai'Sa coming in.
Yeah, it's going to score the point. We can't go double Time Warp either. We're not going to have anywhere near enough runes to do it. That wouldn't even win the game anyway, because we're going to 6 here. Time Warp hold to 7, Time Warp go to 8. Yeah, so it would work, but you don't have enough runes. Oh, that's time on the round. I will tell the rest of the players if you tell these guys.
Sure.
So complete the current turn, 5 additional turns.
Yeah, most definitely. This is just the first set, really setting the bar for what people can do with this. A lot of really complex plays that you kind of don't expect to be in a first set, to be fair. Like
There's a lot of depth. Yeah.
your first set is generally reserved for having like your beatdown deck, your simple X, Y, and Z decks. Out there's the time warp.
Yeah. To get the whole. Oh wait, hold on. We have 11 with Thousand Tail Watcher and Kaiser, and our opponent will have 1, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, we could have Cleave. We could have Watcher Cleave and then go for the shove. If our opponent has Hidden Blade, we just lose. Oh, we're going Raven. Oh, we're going to try and go for our holdout over here.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah, those odds are going to be a little bit tricky. But again, if you do try and go for the Thousand Tail Watcher, if your opponent has Hidden Blade, you just lose. But the Time Warp gives you a fighting chance.
Oh, there's the Falling Star.
Yeah.
Knocking out some of that army.
Yeah. Let's flip the hold game plan pretty well. And going to 7. 6, Grand Stratagem.
There it is.
Yep. Block this. Yeah, and when he gets ready to Darius, it's just full send the team. Yeah, and the Might of Noxus is...
Oh, this is smoke
screen. It's not going to be enough to stifle this. Yeah, even through all of those falling stars... we didn't get our hold point for the turn, right?
No.
Yeah, so that should go on to 7, and this should be 0.8. Unless I've... We can scroll up and we can see if they adjusted it. I don't know.
No, they didn't.
Oh, they definitely missed it. Yeah, so I think this is game. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're just showing all the cards. We did have Watcher, Time Warp, and Darius expertly navigates around like, how do I just not lose if it's this? Because I can't play around. I said you can't play around both, so we set it up so that we don't lose to. We basically say we'll take severe casualties on this side, but we don't lose to specifically this line, which would have been the only way that Darius would have lost that game. So that was very well navigated. An excellent play from our Darius player. I should actually use their correct name. I do apologize. I have to look at the pairings because I know one's Jibs, but their usernames, they haven't changed
Holdy
them.
is at the top, Jibs is at the bottom.
Holdy, excellent play. A great showing for the Darius Hook strategy, being able to take down Kaiser in a series 2-1. I'll just make sure that we don't have any other judge calls or anything like this. Yeah, I can see the players starting to go into the lobby. We generally have like a players like hangout lobby, and they're all just in there bantering and stuff, which is just a really fun part of it. In fact, that's in some ways almost more interesting than playing, just going in talking about the bad beat stories and stuff like that.
Most definitely. I'm going to bring it back to us. There we go.
Okay.
I can see Matt's face.
Hey everyone, good to see you again. Well, I'm looking at my camera and just pretending that you're actually here with me, but that's going to be round 2 of the Bandle Blitz. We're playing 4 rounds today, so just 2 rounds to go. Each win is worth 3 points. We have a scoring system which determines what roles you get on the server, and this is based over several weeks you'll play, and then you'll start to climb up on the ranks. And then this kind of makes it a little bit easier as you appear higher on the server roles list. So you can say, hey, I'm looking to play against somebody who's gold plus, and you can start like looking for specific games. You can see which players have a bit of renown on the server as well. And pro tip, it is the people that have renown on all of the other servers as well from their tournaments. But over time, people will be able to go up in ranks, and then we'll reset the season when the first set releases, and we'll figure out how many ranks we're going to take off of people. We don't want to do a full reset for everybody, because if you've leveled up quite significantly, it would be quite lame to just go all the way back to Iron for the series. And we're gonna sort that out, but we'll have more information about that a little closer to the time when we get towards the end of the season. But we're going to be playing I believe 3 more tournaments in this season. Well, actually, this is tournament number 3. I believe we've got 2 more seasons, 2 left before the game comes out on the 28th of October, I believe.
Yeah, I'm just checking because it looks like there's a few people that are going to drop this round. I'm just making sure. And yeah, there we go. They've just marked it as... but they marked it as 2-0 before the drop, I think. But no, it should be fine. We're all good. I think the person who was dropping... Oh, maybe a second person is dropping as well.
Yeah, guys, if you want to get your drops in, please do it before we pair the round. That would be preferred.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It looks like somebody's just
ran out of time.
Just ran out of time, yeah. So let me just make sure before I go any further. And then we'll post the pairings and just see where we're going from there.
Yeah, no, it'll be good. But good showing from Jibs on Kaiser, trying to fight the good fight with all of those multiple target spells. We saw multiple falling stars. We saw Kafian Reigns still not able to push down the advantage engine of baited hook. Very, very strong strategy when it gets going. But then we saw the games where we didn't get baited hook, and then the deck kind of falls apart because you're overpaying for units. And that's a challenge. You trade consistency for power.
Yeah. Right, just seeing what we've got at the moment. And so, Matt, whilst I'm sourcing this out, tell me a champion you want to have come out and what you want it to base its deck around.
Oh god, there's so many. Udyr. I love the champion card Udyr. It's so cool, but you have to spend buffs. You just don't have an efficient way of getting buffs. And Udyr costs quite a lot, so you don't really get a ton of use out of the effect unless you're playing it in Lee Sin. And even then, by the time it shows up and starts trying to do stuff, you're just not really getting enough value. But all the different forms for Udyr is really cool. I'd love to see that. Jhin is just one of my favorite champions. I think the lore and everything behind Jhin is incredible. I like the idea of trying to do something with 4. Obviously, Jin's going to cost 4. It's going to have 4 might and hopefully a killer effect. We were talking a little bit about this on Fight Night, where it's like, what if your legend ability was like pay 4 and a power and you can shoot a unit for 4? And if you kill it, draw a card. Is like, that would be very good, just having a Void Seeker on your legend ability. Probably too good, actually.
That would be very, very good.
You just do it every turn, right? You just be able to shoot them. But I'd love to see Jhin. Other champions that I think would be cool. I'd like to. I'm a huge Garen fan, but not the Garen that came out in the game. I would have liked a better Garen, to be fair.
Yeah, that's fair. He was one of like the mainline champions when the game first came out. You would have expected they him just a little bit better, but it doesn't seem to be one of the favourites there. So round 3 has been paired. Yeah. I'm going to say that we go to table 1 with Terrasadon versus T-Simple T, if you don't have any objections.
No, I'll take that. Veigar as well. Veigar
would be a fun one. More Yordles, please.
Yeah, I really liked him in Runeterra, and I'd like to see how he shows up in Riftbound as well. Or Skarner. I also really like Skarner. God, there's so many I like. That's the problem. I better get the clock going as well, actually.
Not yet, because we're just about to make sure that everybody's there, because it looks like I've got a couple of people who don't have their opponents yet, including our feature match. So I just want to make sure that everybody gets seated. In the meantime, I'm going to bring up Tristana just to tell us what round it is.
2, 3, 4.
That's right, it's round 3.
If we're getting there, one more round to go after this one. So we've got 2 more rounds of Bandle Blitz goodness. We highly recommend that you come ahead and sign up for next week. It's fun, and it will get you some practice in. And all the people, they're really good guys on there. We're here to mostly have fun. If you want to bring your Lee Sin deck or something, go ahead. Yeah, we do have top level meta players and stuff, but I still think being able to play in the environment at very low stakes and get experience against those top decks, especially the player quality that we have here, with some of the grinders that show up quite frequently, it's definitely worth it for you guys to get in on that.
Yeah. Just waiting for them to join. hopefully they will be there very soon.
Yep. I will hover to give a time warning.
If you can just let people know that
All right.
we're waiting. See if T Simple T is going to sit at the table just yet. I think just in the interest of time, though, we should pick somebody else. Okay, what do we have? We have Lord Pet versus Ocean. We have Counterfeit, who was talking in the stream earlier.
We can grab Counterfeit. They're playing on one of the lower brackets, I believe, but we can definitely grab a Counterfeit cast game. I'd be interested to see what they decided to play.
Who is...
T Simple's just arrived on table 1.
Perfect. Well, let's go straight over there.
Just a tease. The tease.
Yes, T Simple T. Let's go. Okay, direct to connect. I'm going to jump in as...
All right, I'm going to start the round now.
Sure thing. I'm just going to jump into the spectator. And...
Bang, 58 minutes on the clock. We're getting through this very smooth. We're just going round. Like, that's... I like that. That's the smoothest way of doing it.
Great. It looks like they've just joined the table, so let's head over there.
Yeah. The Arcana RE art. I do wonder if for a future prize card, if we will see Ari on there. They went with Bounty Hunter Misfortune, which implies to me that that card is very good, or it will become very relevant. It's a very strong ability because you get to play it like Sneaky Deckhand, and then it gives all of your units Sneaky Deckhand's effect, even if it's sitting in base. So that card should be very, very good. It just unfortunately gets shot to shreds by Kai'Sa, and the most playable Chaos deck, Chaos is the word I'm trying to say, just doesn't seem to have room for it in a slot. You got Teemo, but you're not playing it there, even though it would get you on a point fast if you were from turn 2. But the problem is, it's like you usually get onto 1 point, and then your opponent's on the other one, so Misfortune has limited viability there. And then in the Aurora Misfortune deck, you're playing the other Misfortune Captain, which is just a ridiculous card.
Yeah.
Very, very good card. I hope to see more of it outside of that chosen champion, because like a lot of the other body decks just don't play it, but it's very good. Oh, we're going to be seeing some tech from Terrasadon is going to be playing Navori Fighting Pits. This is a location we don't see a lot of. If you hold here, you get to put a buff on a unit. So there is some pretty interesting strategy behind this, especially in Kai'Sa. If you're playing the most consistent version of Kai'Sa and you just focus on consistency, you get to punish the greedy decks because they kind of can't let you score a buff. So you make your opponent play as quickly or as aggressively as you want them to. Oh, this is cool. We can see that the Nexus Knight runes are being used by Terrasadon. So these are the promos you'll get when you go play at your local stores and stuff, which is really, really cool. We've opened Ravenbloom Student, and we've gone from Terrasadon's side the Lecturing Yordle. So what's actually really interesting here is if you push the Ravenbloom out, you can't really go to Navori Fighting Pits. Your ideal situation is you push to Targon's Peak, and then you play Kai'Sa, and then you ready 2 runes. This is going to give us development, and it's going to give us interaction. So we can actually...
exactly what they did.
Yeah, and then if you're Terrasadon, if you have the Hedge Tech, you are okay to go ahead and play that into the Ravenbloom and then take the Targon's Peak back after you develop your own Kai'Sa, and you get to flip it that way. We're going to see 2. Is it Falling Star? Oh, Hedge Tech Ray. We're going to Hedge Tech Ray. You could send the Lecturing Yordle to the Navori Fighting Pits to try and bait their Kai'Sa over, but I don't think that's going to happen because we're going to be going up to 6, which gives us Darius territory on there. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. T Simple. Challenge looks amazing, actually. Like, as I scroll through this, it's like just so tidy how it tracks everything compared to what we were using before. Oh. Yeah, lecturing Yordle. Going to this. Oh, we're going to force a Hedge Tech Ray. You could retreat, but then that takes away your ability to play your own Kai'Sa. I think you do want to play Kai'Sa here. Yeah, so Terrasadon is going to go for a Kai'Sa. So we get the Raven Bloom out of the game. Falling Star on Kai'Sa, that is a commitment. We usually don't see a full Falling Star going on to Kai'Sa, but that does give advantage here to T-Simple, who's going to be able to get on the Navori Fighting Pits and draw a card. And then we'll go Raven Bloom. Free. Yeah, so
more for making sure that you're getting an early point lead, and you just don't have the don't have that threat of a Kai'Sa just sat in front of you immediately. Voidseeker.
Yeah.
Just,
so
yeah,
basically,
kind.
You're taking away your opponent's card advantage engine, and it gives you the opportunity to make sure that you get the Navori Fighting Pit. So the Fighting Pits creates a really interesting dynamic in this fight, because all of a sudden a unit with a buff, all of your removal lines up very particularly with each of the different units in the mirror match. And if you put a buff on a unit, all of a sudden your guy doesn't die to all the same spells. So for example, Kai'Sa goes up to 5 and then no longer dies to Voidseeker. So it forces a much more aggressive game where people can't just sit back and try and play value, because then if you try and play the value game, you can potentially end up having to 2-for-1 on units. But again, every other turn, if you conquer the Targon's Peak, you're going to be able to ready 2 runes. And we see T-Simple pulling ahead on the race right now, currently at 3 points. But we are at 9 runes already for Terrasadon. Yep, we're going to move to the Navori Fighting Pits. Hextech Raid number 2, but we do see the cards running out for a T-Simple. A lot of it's being forced to keep the game moving forward, whilst Terrasadon is holding their cards pretty well here. Falling Star. Yeah, that's huge. It's going to be able to strip both of those. If you have another spell, you can save a Raven... Oh, both Raven Blooms being nuked from orbit. If you can accelerate a Kai'Sa into the Navori Fighting Pits, that would be cool. We would be potentially playing into Voidseeker if we do that. Where are we going? Potentially Darius as well. If you've got Darius backed up by Smokescreen, sitting on the Navori Fighting Pit, that's going to be pretty spicy.
Something that... oh, there's another Falling Star.
It's a game of Falling Stars.
Really
Everybody's throwing their runes down.
That's back.
Huge. That is huge. Because we're also now going up to 10 next round.
But just like that, definitely just getting all of their resources stripped away.
Yeah, it's basically forced the match into a much more aggressive situation, and that's forcing people to play cards. And Terrasadon's been able to hold their cards very, very well here, making it interesting for T-Simple. Now, T-Simple has taken an early lead on points, and the cards are now starting to line up to similar numbers. But yeah, we're probably committing our own Darius, or we're going to Cathian Rain. Do we have another retreat, or are we just losing both of our units?
There is a significant amount of aggro that's going on in this game, more so than I've seen so far today.
Hi, Tiporo.
One of the things that we used to say during Yu-Gi-Oh! Is essentially that mirror matches are chess, and everything else feels like checkers. And you can really see here, because they both know exactly what's in that deck. They both know exactly the plays that their opponents can make. It's just thinking those 5, 6, 7 turns ahead. Do I want to burn this right now? Do I want to overcommit? Do I want to undercommit? What exactly is it that I need to do right now? And what is it that my opponent could have in the next 3 turns that would stop that plan? Cleave going down.
Yeah, that's going to force the Raven Bloom through. It's very hard to stop a Raven Bloom cleave as it goes up to 6. Thanks to its own ability. So Terrasadon now tying up the score. There is a Darius on the back row, but there could be another Falling Star coming out. From Terrasadon. But yeah, we're forcing the game into this simplified game state where every exchange is going to matter, and the 2-for-1s are super relevant. Holding up 11. So, yeah, we're also drawing that Darius towards the fighting pits. But I think the buff at this point, now that we're getting to like the upper levels of the game, has become less relevant. In that early stage, being able to get buffs allows you to just press the advantage. So it forced everybody to basically throw their cards at the table as quickly as possible.
There's the cleave going on to the Darius.
Yeah.
I will say it looks more like Twisted Fate in its artwork.
Yeah, the
incredibly hench Twisted Fate.
Yeah, it's actually funny because when I was talking to some of the players and they were talking about the artwork, they're like, hey, it's the Brokeback Mountain version of Darius. And I was like, oh, and there's one for Yasuo as well.
Oh,
oh, double smoke screen.
Ooh. Wow.
Yep.
That was just bouncing off of that Ravenbloom student.
Another Darius, sure.
Let's try this again.
Yeah, we'll just send that in. Is it smoke screen number 3?
So 4 versus 5, 1 card in hand. Do we want to play it right now? Nope, there goes the Ravenbloom student. That's another point over to T Simple T.
Is it Thousand Tail Watcher, the last card in our hand? Oh, we've got 2. The Acafian Rain really flipped this game.
Definitely did.
I think we can take a look at T Simple's. Oh, hang on. Let's not do that right now. Let's see.
No?
5, 6, 7. Now I just want to see. I think it's going to be Thousand Tail Watcher here. Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
Slam. Scores a point. It's still a very close game on points. If we can back up this Thousand Tail Watcher with something, our Watcher going to 8 makes it quite annoying, actually. As it means that if it's in base, we can run over our opponent's Watcher. But we are getting to that. We're all in. Okay, we shoved in. The question, I guess, Terrasadon was asking, can I sandbag this?
And there's their own Thousand Tail Watcher.
Yeah, that's very strong. Oh, Cleave doesn't get us here. We kind of need... Okay, we're going to take Targon's Peak.
Makes sense. Get some points in.
Watchful Sentry. Oh, Navori Fighting Pit's going to trigger for the first time this game, and it's going to buff the opponent's Thousand Tail Watcher. The game has favoured the player going first.
Yeah, it's been an interesting to see both the players just lashing at each other's resources to get to the point where we see a top-decking Terrasadon just not have the resources to be able to pull forward here.
Yeah, I mean, if we've got another Thousand Tail Watcher... Or Darius number 3. I mean, I will say, yeah, just another Thousand Tail Watcher, sure.
Thousand Tail Watcher, yeah.
Yeah. If we check the discard pile before the game closes, I think, what is that? We've got double Falling Star. If we
Double
just scroll down all the way
Ray, double Cleave, Acathian
double
Rain,
Darius.
Falling Star, double Darius. So basically everything you could possibly need.
Yeah.
And there it is, yeah. That's our first game.
Very strong. That was a really fun little fight there. Ultimately, the buff just made the players play much more aggressively, and it ultimately came down to I drew more Dariuses, I drew more Thousand Tail Watchers in that situation. So we'll see how the side decks work out here.
Not a lot of time side decking there.
No, it's kind of weird. I don't think Kai'Sa plays a ton of stuff specifically for Kai'Sa. It's just your stuff's already so good.
Yeah.
There's not really a ton of really great options. I mean, you can increase the number of retreats in your deck if you do side them, but some people are just choosing to play 3 retreats in the main. Sprite Mother is also pretty good if you're going first, so you can start getting captures very, very quickly. Yeah, there's options, but they're just kind of not really a ton that changes the matchup dramatically unless you're using a spicy battlefield that plays around it. But the second you start doing that, you start adding inconsistencies to your deck, which can prove fatal over the course of several rounds. What champion are you looking forward to coming out in the future? You said Draven, right?
Brom,
yeah.
Most definitely. I want my mustachioed Poros. I want an ability or a gear that just lets me put mustaches on Poros and buffs them. That's the only thing I'm looking for. It will be absolute perfection. I'll be probably lose every game, and I will not care. But if Draven comes out, well, I'm just going to be making Draven quotes pretty constantly, which is why I think I would just be obnoxious playing that deck. Me in person sat across from you saying, "Welcome to the League of Draven."
It's going to be a riot. Did Michael Wichlow ever cosplay as Brom, out of interest? Like, he's somebody we've known from our judging days.
Yeah, Michael Wichlow cosplay. Go and follow them. They're still doing a lot of really good stuff. They're known for being a cosplay doctor at Comic Cons, so they're there to help you fix everybody's kit if it breaks on site. I'm not sure, actually. But MW cosplay, if you want to go and have a look at anything. He did actually make the Millennium Shield that is sometimes in the background of our videos. He gave us that, it must have been like 2018, 2019, and told us that it was the Scorekeeper's shield, which is why he brought it with him, and then he let us keep it afterwards to sign the back of it. So yeah, that's definitely incredible. Great guy.
Acacian Rain.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, probably going to retreat. I mean, if that resolves, it's going to be quite backbreaking. So we've got Retreat Kai'Sa. Yeah. Yeah, that feels considerably better than just having all your units blown. But yeah, like Michael Wichlow, actually, you know what? You could do a Brom cosplay and then have the Millennium Shield. If you want to cross the brands a little bit.
Let's see if I can... Because I was pretty sure he did at some point.
I can see him being Brom. I remember trolling him at a convention where he was in London and he was dressed up as a Pokemon. I went up to him and was just like, "Oh man, your Halucha cosplay is sick." And I did it loud enough so other people could hear it. And he's like, "I'm Ho-Ho." And I was like, "Oh, my bad." And then loads of people just kept going up saying, "Oh, that Halucha is sick." He just got a message from him saying, "I hate you."
Yeah, I'm actually just going to drop his Insta into chat if people want to see him. Absolutely fantastic guy.
Yeah, now this time we see the early lead going to Terrasadon. Is it generally kind of happens in the early exchange? The Kai'Sa player that goes first is a bit of an advantage, and this is why going first on something like Reaver's Row is very heavily favored. Being able to get your units down. Yep, we're going to force a retreat. It's a lower value retreat because you're not saving your Darius or Kai'Sa, but you are getting an additional card draw off of the Lecturing Yordle that you can replay immediately. That does ask for a Falling Star, though. You've left one rune up, so you could potentially have another retreat. Kai'Sa's going to be able to slam onto the Targon's Peak to draw cards, score a point, and we're taking a 4-point lead, so we're 2 turns ahead of T-Simple. If we have Falling Star, you're probably thinking about it. You're going to play a Ravenbloom. Also, that Pouty Poro is just so safe to push into the Dreaming Tree. It's like, you can go ahead and Hedgehog Ray this. I've got Deflect. It's just kind of really obnoxious.
It really is, but, that's what it's there to do.
Yeah, it's specifically for anti-Gandalf decks. It's like, please play your spells on this.
Sorry, do you call spell decks Gandalfs?
Yeah, I call them Gandalf decks because they're just playing like a bunch of spells instead of units. It's just like, you shall not pass, I kill everything. Gandalf deck.
Just a quick question for you there, Matt, as we have got it through a judge call. Can, if a countered card is used on the Dreaming Tree, does it still count for the draw effect?
I believe it does. I think it draws a card. It will... Because you've targeted the card with something, so I'm pretty sure the battlefield still draws.
Sounds like something maybe in the FAQ. I have to have a look and see if I can find that.
If you've got it, just take a quick look. I'm pretty sure that one's been covered. I'm pretty sure that you do get the draw on that. Also, we are looking for judges that are actively able to jump through the tables while we're casting these.
Yeah, I have made that a little bit of a call. So yeah, please, if you can, if you have the time, it would be nice just to have anybody available just to give us a hand with this. Any volunteers are appreciated. I just googled FAQ for Bandle Blitz instead of FAQ for Riftbound, so there we go. Voidseeker taking out the Lecturing Yordle.
Yeah, and we're at 5 points, so we are pulling ahead.
Dreaming tree. Okay, that's not in there. Target.
Voidseeker on Kai'Sa. Do we have another retreat? Well, we could cleave from this position. Cleave would be very strong, so we'd draw a card for the Dreaming Tree, and we'd still run over the Poro, and we'd keep the Kai'Sa.
Okay, we're being asked for an actual ruling, and I can't see it in the FAQ, so are you saying yes because it's been targeted?
Yes, you did declare your target on the battlefield, so the battlefield will give that. If I am incorrect on that, I will apologize and get that checked in the future, but in the process of keeping everything in, you've declared a target. The Dreaming Tree should resolve. Again, I would love it if these card decks were a lot clearer.
Yeah.
But, all these games are going to have teething pains. We're seeing Stupefy come out. Stupefy is going to tag Kai'Sa down. That is pretty huge. Go to 6 points. 11 runes up.
Actually check to see online if anybody said anything. Dreaming Tree, target.
Yeah, they would be actually on the main server as well. They do have a rulings question section.
That's a good point, actually.
Are you in the main server?
I am in the main server. I'm assuming that's the Riftbound community server.
Yeah, the Riftbound community. That's where the Riot people post. Check in there.
Questions. Dreaming Tree.
Defy would probably be it.
Dreaming Tree, Defy interaction. Yes, he has chosen a unit even if the spell did not resolve. So yeah, you're correct.
There you go. Haha, we can still do judging. We can still parse card text. 2 points for T-Simple. Checking time on the round. We have 28 minutes, 48 seconds. Obviously, that first game was blistering fast because everybody was just dashing wildly into...
Incredible aggro.
Yeah. It made for an exciting game. It changed the dynamics a little bit. This one seems to be a lot more value-focused. Ikafian Ray number 2... but there's Pouty Poros in play, so this is a giga expensive if you want to take the max value.
Oh, yeah, paying it in full.
Oh, 5 power cost Ikafian Ray.
Get rid of that back row.
It does set your opponent's development back massively. And you've kept up a bunch of runes, so you could just drop another accelerated Kai'Sa into Dreaming Tree. It does leave you potentially vulnerable to a Voidseeker Darius follow-up, if you did that.
Mm-hmm.
You could also just develop in base. You've got a bunch of stuff. If you've got stuff like Lecturing Yordle, that would also be pretty good to drop whilst leaving 2 up. But yeah, just stripping down that development. We're leaving the 5 open. So Terrasadon, who has points to burn, could consider setting up another little army. But a lot of their smaller early game stuff has been already removed from the game by just being shot to shreds. Mm-hmm. So I don't know how much of these little folk Terrasadon has hidden. Now has left to play.
Mm-hmm. Let's take a quick look at that discard.
Yeah, we've seen 2 Raven Blooms down, both 2 Pouty Poros, 1 more. Okay, so there's more sentries in there, 1 Lecturing Yordle. Yeah, a lot of that early game's gone, so we're mostly going to be seeing the bigger spells and Darius, Kai'Sa's, Thousand Tailed Watchers, Time Warp.
Just checking the log, and we've had quite a few follows this stream. Thank you all for following us. We don't have any alert. Well, we have an alert if it was working at the top of the screen, but we don't have any sounds because we don't want to distract from the game. So yes, thank you very much, all of you, for following. And if you're in the chat, please say hi. I realise that some players are probably in their games right now with just us in the background listening in, but yeah, it'd be nice to see your thoughts, which I'm pretty sure we'll get as more people finish their games. If you're watching on YouTube, again, comment. Let us know exactly how you like not only the game and what's happening here, but any feedback you've got for these streams as well. We're always listening, always looking for ways to improve. And if you're just stumbled across this in your algorithm, or you're just interested in Riftbound, we also have a few videos on how to play, how to build a deck. And there'll be a few more videos that are coming, like what are the different domains and what is it that they're focusing on, which is the video that's coming. These videos for the streams going up every Thursday, and every Friday we'll have a long form content along with some shorts that will be dotted around. So please subscribe and just listen in, see what you can learn. So we've got a 10 might Darius going in there, smokescreen it back down to 6. And there's a Void Seeker to be able to bring it down enough for the Raven Bloom to be able to take it out. Big investment.
Forcing some of the action here, some of the business. But if there is from Terrasadon their own smoke screen, that would force this Darius through. Because what we're doing 4, so it's going to 6, and then we've got smoke screen, so Darius is going to 2. If you have your own smoke screen, you do win that fight by 1. Smoke screen.
Yep, there it is. No available response from T-Simple T, because everything got spent to be able to make that play.
Yeah. You get 2 ready runes for Terrasadon, but Terrasadon is very low on cards, and they need to score another point, and you can't single side conquer from 7 to 8, so you're going to have to hold a Targon's Peak and then take the Dreaming Tree. Well, no, if you hold, you win that way, but it's going to be very hard to do so against Thousand-Tailed Watchers, Dariuses, Falling Stars. All right, we start pressing in.
Darius.
If that's another smoke screen, that would be really good. Okay, yep. Going to be swinging down. But every conquer, one-sided conquer you get now draws a card, so that's going to be able to allow Terrasadon to start applying a lot of 1-for-1 pressure. So, for example, Thousand-Tailed Watcher could just come straight in, kill the Darius, draw a card. Oh, we're going Falling Star.
Bang, bang.
And the dirt is gone. Sell it bang. I love it.
Ooh.
Right.
Just knocked the mic there. Sorry for knocking everybody's ears out.
We're going to see just a Falling Star pass. So what would you be holding in that situation? I guess you could have Time Warp, which you can't use right now. You decided not to play Thousand-Tailed Watcher, even though that would have drew you a card there. Probably not another spell. It's not a Void Seeker, because we definitely would have Void Seekered here. It could be Hedgetech Ray, which is also not useful in this situation. T-Simple is now clawing the points back. Oh, the development coming down in the back row. So we're now threatening to double capture again, and then we could potentially Time Warp. That's for 8. Terrasadon has to do something. What could it be? If you had Stupefy, you definitely would have played them that turn. Unless you've got another Falling Star. And Raven Bloom. Raven Bloom was a unit drawn this turn. We didn't see any units played before, so the 2 cards in the hand are... What could they be? Is it Ariana Cafian Rain?
Falling Star?
Falling Star.
Yeah,
Double shooting Kaiser. Yeah, that's... We're also going to be able to go to 7 and just Time Warp to victory.
Yeah, it does look like that may be exactly where we're going here.
Yeah, assuming it gets played. Kaiser doesn't have any interaction for that. Oh, interesting. We're going Raven Bloom first.
That's to 7.
Yeah, if you got the Time Warp, you just got it.
Thousand-Tailed Watcher.
Oh.
Instead.
We're going for the hold. We just need to make sure we have more than 7 when all of our units have -3 on the on one side, but we can't do it. We're going for a hold. If we've got Thousand-Tailed Watcher, we're in a very good spot to try and get this back. But also Terrasadon, if they have Time Warp, if they can, they get the +1 on the Raven Bloom if they play it. And if they have like another spell, like Cleave, they could take the Targon's Peak and then just basically walk that into the next turn and win game 2. But they might not have it. But they have to have something. They've got 2 cards. They're not going to be unplayable cards. You could have just Cleave and then not be able to do anything with it. That would also be a viable option. The Raven Bloom's coming into the Dreaming Tree. Cleave. It is Cleave. So we're going to get a Dreaming Tree draw. I mean, getting to 11 off of a Raven Bloom is... Okay.
Thanks, Tech.
Yep, so we're currently at 5 on the Raven Bloom, 6 on the Raven Bloom, even 7 on the Raven Bloom, and we put 3 damage down on the Watcher. So we've got to deal 9 to clear both.
I was counting with Matthew Bell, everybody.
Yeah, simple math. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Terrasadon is conceding the game. So it's going to be a 2-0 victory to T-Simple. Very well played there. Really cool Kaiser game. Very, very aggressive. And then ultimately being able to just get that hold victory in the end.
Okay. Do we want to see if there's other people still playing?
Yeah, we've got 19 minutes on the round. We can go slip into somebody's server.
If table 2 is still going, it'll be good to get onto them because it is whoever wins table 2 is going to be up against T Simple T in the final round.
Okay.
On table 1. Where's Discord? There it is. Okay, let's have a look. Who have we got?
Probably Jibs.
Yeah, so who is going to be hosting that table? Let's have a look. Just need to sort it out so we don't get... The problem I've got is that it's probably going to be Poldy that's... Yeah, Poldy's hosting. That's fine.
How's Poldy Kidius? Okay.
Yes, it's Poldy versus Kidius, I would say, but I don't know how...
Yeah, well, you know, you're the one who did like literature at university, so I'm going to take that you understand how to say words more than I do.
English literature and linguistics, but yeah, it's I'm doing so much with that. Let me just make sure that I put myself into the spectator. Yes, I am there, and let's head over to that table.
You are correcting my English, so clearly that degree went to use.
I'm not sure who is who just yet, but as soon as
we know Poldy is on Darius, so
yes, but it is also a Darius mirror. So,
oh god, yeah, no, sorry, I just saw. No, it's not. It's Kaiser's the legend. It's Kaiser versus Darius.
You sure? Because that's definitely a Darius there versus. Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's a Kaiser. Sorry, the Darius and the Discard Power threw me for a loop there.
Yeah. Can you see the ring colors? Because I know you have color blindness. Like obviously the symbols.
They're extremely different. So yeah, I'm fine with that. It's subtle differences between colors that I struggle with. Yeah. So there's the beta. Yeah, I think we may have actually just come in at the end of this game potentially. But we'll see. I'd assume that they're at least one game down at this point.
Well, we're fully tapped out, or almost fully tapped out as a Kaiser player. And we've got 4, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 15 power to sling around. Pass. Sorry, I'm parsing what I'm witnessing, because I would have surely pushed for game there.
Could have pushed for game. Not sure why there was a pass there, but
matron. Even if they have a Hetch deck or a Stupefy, you've got like a million dorks. I'd pass. That's curious. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was interesting. We'll see if the final result gets done. That artwork is really cool. I can't remember what champion that is from League of
Yeah, I'm not
Legends.
sure which champion that is either.
I want to say, is it Belle something? The Void Mother?
I'm going to be
But it
real. I
looks a bit
haven't
different.
played League of Legends in a very long time.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Like I
I think
try to keep up with it, but it's just something that I like the lore. I just not so keen on learning how to play the MOBA again.
just checking to see whether they are. Oh, yep, here we go. It looks like they're going into a game 3 or a game 2.
Game number. It's a game. You can just
It's
ask what the
definitely
result
a
is.
game. What's the result so far?
And we'll
Smiley
just put it on
face.
screen. Earn your mushrooms, everybody. You want to have as many mushrooms as possible. The more mushrooms you have, the higher your server status. There's no
That is
cool.
actually genuinely how that works. So we know that it is Poldy on the top there.
If we should assign to the roles like the mushrooms, but for the different tiers, so like an iron mushroom, a gold mushroom.
I could probably figure something out about that.
Yeah, just like I've got a diamond mushroom.
Did they
I don't know what
respond
challenger
Ace
mushroom is.
1-1 at the moment? Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So Poldy is at the top, and that means that... Oh no, Poldy's at the bottom. Because Poldy's playing the...
Yeah, the Darius. But we are playing Reaver's Row for Kaisa. It's a good one. Yeah, this is very strong for Darius. This is kind of why the Darius Legend ability is great, because in this situation, you'd like to just play a Lecturing Yordle and leave one up, so you've got Hedge Tech Ray, but now you've got like a double attack effectively here. Falling Star. Okay, yeah, we can take the Falling Star, and that bleeds a lot of resources from Darius. What would have normally been a pretty strong thing to push out with just gets blown up by Falling Star. Especially if your opponent was planning to go baited hook this turn, then that could be catastrophically bad, actually. How will Poldy fight back from this position? The Faithful coming out again. It's not Faithful Mechanic. I've already forgotten the name of it.
Yeah, it's Manufactor.
Manufacturer. We have 13 minutes, 40 seconds on the round and counting down.
This is round
be able to...
3, so the winner of this is going to go on to face T-Simple T in the finals, I believe. If the tiebreakers are telling me correctly.
That's a Kaisa mirror, or we're going to be seeing a Darius Hook Kaisa game again, which is exciting. We've not seen enough Darius, considering how ridiculous it can be. I'd like to see more set, but, you know, we didn't see any Master Yi's this week, actually, in any of the games we looked at. Yep, Trifarian Hopeful is going to be pushing over the Candlelit Sanctum. Do bear with me, I just need to jump and be right back. You can cover this for just like 2 minutes or so?
Yeah, no worries at all.
Perfect.
Oh, it's a Pouty Poro. That Poro is sure is Pouty. And a Noxus Hopeful. But we do have Poldy building up that army, as we would definitely expect. Do love to see a lot of numbers on top of those cards. Oof. What's coming down here? Oof, there goes the Darius into play. Is that a 10 Darius? Dang. Just a lot of... A lot of damage out on the board. Goes the Darius, takes out the Noxus Hopeful. That baited hook early on is definitely going to be a massive advantage for Poldy.
And we're back.
Welcome
I see a
back.
baited hook. Thank you.
Yeah, the baited hook came out very early and is doing exactly what it's meant to do.
Playing Go Fish.
Pretty much. We did have a lovely 10 Mike Darius come in, and you've just seen it leave.
Falling Star. We're
Falling Star,
actually
yep.
stripping away the best potential hits because we only have one power left on the board. One might left on the board to hook with. So that's going to limit the range of options to Draven, which will be very small considering there's not a lot of points. But we are seeing Kageus is all in. They've just shoved their whole hand onto the table. Oh, I just Darius for that. Baited hook in the top decking situation. The player with baited hook is definitely ahead. But this single recruit cannot take anything on its own. Oh, now it has cleave.
Oh.
Yep, we're going to be able to send that over and kill the Pouty Poro. Probably a bit much. The Poro was just being a brat. You didn't have to, like, obliterate it. But we're going to score that point and get our Candlelit Sanctum, which is going to improve the consistency of our baited hook.
Looks like
Legion.
Lord Pet has just won 2-0 against Ocean.
Yeah. Okay, and now we can also use our seal to pay the power cost of our baited hooks, and now our hook's not even costing us runes. I think that's seal of Order. Trifarian? Yeah, from the top 5 we're going to get ourselves a Trifarian Glory Seeker.
Very cool.
We are going to be able to go to 6 as Kageus and then threaten lethal the following turn, but we're trying to draw it from the top of our deck. We do have that Candlelit Sanctum to help us with that, and the Reaver's Row is going to allow us to keep the Ravenbloom student available. We do have Noxus Hopeful and a Trifarian Glory Seeker for the Darius, so Kageus wants to close this game out as quickly as possible. Both players are top decking, but the hook player is their top deck's in the top 5 of their cards of their deck, whereas the Kageus is now looking with the help of Candlelit Sanctum at the top 2.
Seeing more results coming in. RTF Rift 2-0 against Counterfeit.
Oh yeah, we never got to see what Counterfeit was on. I wonder if they were playing set. Maybe Master Yi. You never know. I'll ask later. I'll figure it out. Withdrawing the Ravenbloom. Do we have Falling Star?
Potential.
Okay.
Oh, nope, Sprite Mother.
Okay, no, we're going to Sprite Mother. Oh, and then we put the Sprite Mother token on there as well, so we're basically defending with 6. Yeah, we leave the Ravenbloom there so we can deploy, and then we just chuck it in, and then we play Kai'Sa to the base. So you have to send at least 6 over the Reavers, and when you do, the Reavers will retreat the Sprite Mother.
So the draw for the turn was a Seal of Unity.
Yeah, this is a very
Oh
yeah.
Poldy's eliminated.
Poldy is
So that means
surrendering.
Kageus if that's how you say your name. I'm sure you will correct me at some point. It's probably going to be going in onto table 1 next round.
Oh, we're coming up to our final round for this week's Bandle Blitz.
Yes,
Thank you so much for hanging out with us this evening, or this afternoon, or this morning, depending on where in the world you are.
Yeah, that's weird how that way works.
Yeah.
Just that Earth rotating.
What do you mean it's rotating? It's flat. It's just kind of like doing a 360.
It's just wobbling like a banana.
Yeah, it's just tilting from one side to the other, or it could be on the back of a giant turtle swimming through the expanse of space. You're not entirely sure.
The great Artuin.
I mean,
It's turtles all the way down.
it's just turtles all the way down. Yeah.
So this has been a really fun event so far. I'm really glad to see people are enjoying themselves as well. People are coming back week after week to be able to play. You can join our community. You can join this tournament. It's completely free to play. TCG Arena, I should say, is completely free to use as well, which is why we use it. You don't have to have Tabletop Simulator to be able to run it. Very, very low specs as well to be able to actually play and just really experience the game before it comes out physically at the end of this month, which I am certainly looking forward to. There's been more of the Origins, I think it is, has been restocked on the Riot store for pre-order. So if you are looking to get some really nice decks, pre-made decks ready to be able to play out of the box, not having to worry about that stock that your local store may or may not have, you can jump over to the Riot store and get it, or pre-order it from your local store. There is also a few sneak peek events. Correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. It's going on at the moment.
Yeah, that's correct. They're going to be doing some release events. They're going to be playing Sealed, which is very interesting how it works in Riftbound. Effectively, if I remember it correctly, is you can choose a champion. You can choose a chosen champion. Can be any champion that matches the domains that you have, but you also get to play up to 3 colors. And if you don't have a chosen champion at the start of the game, you draw an extra card. If you don't have a legend at the start of the game, you draw an extra card. So it's kind of just like really, really weird because also you're going to be playing off the battlefields that you get out of packs. And like, I think not Master Yi, because you can't get that. It's Lee Sin with Monastery is probably the most ridiculous legend for Sealed. To be honest, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I've not actually played a lot of Sealed format. I'm hoping that it's fun. I tend to prefer Constructed over Sealed. I was a huge Sealed fan a long time ago, and now it's like, unless it's your full-time job, it's kind of difficult to keep track of everything. So we'll see how it goes.
Sure, before those last things go in.
Yeah, Victor is pretty good as well.
We're going to drop. Are actually dropped. Okay, so let's see who's dropping out at the last moment.
Yeah.
I believe it was Ocean.
Do you remember that? Go ahead.
You go ahead. Keep talking.
Yeah, do you remember that your total wins in each tournament contributes towards the score for the server rolls? So even if you are 0 free, playing the 4th rank can score you 3 points towards getting improved on the server rolls. Anybody who's first time playing will automatically be granted the Iron rank. I will sort out immediately after the tournament everybody's upgrades. Your scores only go up, we don't take points away, so it's like just a little encouragement to keep going in the tournament if you want to, but obviously we're not going to make anybody play who wants to drop. But just if that helps you swing where you go, well, I'm pretty close to gold, maybe I'll just play this last game, even if the tournament's been going perhaps not the way we would have liked.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes left on the round, and
we have 2 tables left, which is Jibs versus G-Trax and Pyro versus Samsam. A couple of people that we didn't actually get to see on stream this time round, but as we grow, it'll be nice to see if we can get some of those lower tables. Maybe for round 1, we pick at random. Round 2, we get a lower table, and then for round 3 and 4, we stick to our top tables just to see what's going on.
Yeah, and as we grow, what we can do is just start taking deck lists. It does create a little bit of an extra time commitment for people to submit them, but then we'll know a little bit about how to feature more appropriately in round 1, so that's something we'll definitely look into.
Yeah, I think what we're going to end up doing is just asking people to let us know what it is, who they're playing.
Yeah, they're legends.
They're legends.
Like, what's your legend?
just so we know exactly where it's going. And if people want to give us like any sort of details about the deck, things that we might find interesting, or if they would like to even come and talk to us and just potentially have an interview that would go onto our YouTube channel where you can describe what your deck actually does, I would super appreciate that. Anything that we can get, just to be able to make more content for all of you lovely people.
Yeah, that's something that I kind of want to do for the deck profiles, is actually talk to people who have played them in tournaments, because it's like, hey, this is my cool new deck, and it's kind of interesting to get the inside thoughts of players that have seen success on the archetype that you're discussing. So always interested to do a little bit of that.
Expecting a result from Pyro and Samsam at any moment. I can see they're no longer at the table, so we'll see where that goes.
We have 30 seconds left on the round. I better get ready with that time on the round ping.
Most definitely. Oh, sorry. I just thought of something really silly. You know, some of the some of the prizes you can get is designated seating. It should just be so silly. It would just be like, yeah, we'll create a private channel. It's just yours, and we just drag people into your table for you.
Yeah, we just drag people for you.
It's time on the round.
It's time on the round. Yeah, just little fun things that you can do with it.
Yeah. How many points is gold tier, Matt?
Oh, we do have that in the announcements. So if you scroll, for people who want to learn about it, if you scroll up in our announcements, you get gold at 20 plus points. You get 3 points for a win, so more than 5 you're looking at. 7 wins will get you there.
Just going to forward that post into resources so people can find it a little bit easier. There we go.
Yeah, that'd be cool. The points for the higher thresholds are set up, but the idea is that you always get points whether you win or lose. If you're consistently going 4-1, you are going to hit the upper tiers, and then we're not going to reduce people as much. They're not going to go back to iron. Like, for example, if you got diamond, we're still figuring out exactly how many points we take away, or we set you to perhaps gold tier to start off with, so you have a bit further of a run in the race. So that's kind of like the goals of what we're doing with it, and we'll reschedule it based on when set 2's releases, and we'll know how many events are out, so we can calculate the tiers. We do want to keep the upper tiers a little bit more exclusive by acquiring a lot of points, but we want to reward consistency for people playing, and we don't want to discourage people by taking points away when they lose and stuff like that.
I'm just going to quickly ping Pyro and oh wait, no, didn't one of them say that they needed to drop just before? I'm not sure. Just scrolling through. Want to make sure. Oh, Sam had to leave. That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just drop Sam. Why we've not got the result yet?
Yeah, and we're just waiting for those last 2 results, and then we'll get on to the last round of the night. I can see first result. Yep, that's you putting that in.
That was me putting that in. Yes.
Yeah.
Are there any imbalanced cards that you would change at the moment?
Unbalanced cards that I would change.
Mm-hmm.
Kaisa, the legend. The change I would want to make to that is to not make her ability a react, so that you could use it to pay for power costs only during your turn. So if you want to keep the flexibility of casting cards on your opponent's turn, you should have to pay power costs for that.
Yeah.
Falling Star is too flexible. I don't know if it should. It's weird because it's fair in any other deck because the power cost is really high. It does make a bunch of units kind of unplayable, but if your opponent actually sets themselves back an entire turn's worth of energy on it, but again, Kaisa being able to pay that power cost kind of circumvents that. So I'd like to see that. I wouldn't want to address Aurora. I probably just want more ways to interact with it. So in actual fact, I think just printing more cards that do that. Aurora is it is a fun card. It is a top end, and it's like I built my entire deck to play this, and I get to play all of the fatties. It can be quite frustrating to play against when it just casinos a high roll, but I think just like that matchup gets balanced by when we have a bigger card pool with more ways to interact with the Aurora.
Yeah.
Jibs is going to be taking that one down. I just saw the result come in, so it's going to be T Simple versus Kajias.
That's where we're going to go next. Yes, let's just post those pairings into the chat. If you could do that for me, please, Matt. Whilst
I will
get
do that.
Tristana to tell us what round it is.
Yep. That tasted purple.
That's right, it's round 4. The final
Right.
round for today.
Oh, I don't need to go out here. I can just post the pairings.
Yeah, just post the pairings. Everybody's waiting for them anyway.
Yeah. Keep pinging the
Okay.
server. People are going to start muting us.
Yeah, that is one of my worries. Who is going to host though? Let's see. T Simple T has been posting a direct connect.
It is a Kaisa mirror match for our finals. To the surprise of nobody. I think actually our top 4 is currently all Kaisa players.
Get rid of that mode so I can actually see people. There we go. Okay, let's get people seated and then jump into the games.
One more. And yeah, looking forward to seeing this play out. Katia is potentially becoming a 2-time winner of the server. But T-Simple has shown that they are no slouch. They fought through Terrasadon, who plays more than anybody I know in the world at this point, unless there's people who are just like playing secretly elsewhere. Like, I think I've said this before, like I've gone to bed some nights at about 1 a.m. after talking to Terrasadon, CERN, and a couple of the regulars. And when I wake up in the morning, they're still in the voice channel. And it's like, that was like 9 hours ago. Did you guys go away for a bit and come back? Or I've just been playing all night.
Yeah, they are very much like that. Just love the game. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of the super fans that kind of like make the experience like all that more fun for just playing through. So yeah,
Okay.
we're just waiting for the game, so we're stalling a little bit, but you guys can
We're
hopefully
not
forgive us for that.
stalling. We're
Entertaining.
talking, slow playing. That's what we're doing.
We are slow playing the start of the round. I better get this clock ready.
Yes, that's a good idea. I'm going to get into the spectator slot.
Yeah,
It looks like
and
they are seated at a table. If you want to,
tell them they can start. Yes.
were they? Oh, I didn't see that they weren't there. My bad.
Cool. Time has started. Right, and we'll just see everybody connect up.
Yep. Okay, let's go over to the game board because it looks like we have everybody at the table. That is a lovely image that we're getting there. May very well be something to do with the UK Online Safety Act, and a lot of the companies that are basically dropping out of the UK at the moment because of it.
Yeah. So yeah, for example, if you host your images on Imgur, people in the UK can't see them.
Yeah.
And they just said, yeah, if you've got a UK IP address, it will not load because they just didn't want to deal with it, which I can totally understand.
Yeah, I can completely agree with that. Okay, I think that's T Simple T we've got at the bottom here. We're playing Kaiser.
I think T-Simple has accidentally loaded their Lux deck.
Yeah, it did look that way. Unless
Yeah, it's
T
like-
Simple T is playing Lux now. There's the
No,
Kaiser.
no, no. We saw them earlier play Kaiser, so I'd be surprised if it was Lux. And also, playing into Kaiser on Lux would be quite a difficult experience. I do love a good Lux, though. Just you need a little bit more way of dealing with faster stuff, and Lux currently doesn't do that. The legend ability is strong enough, though. An 8 beat to 4, so T-Simple to decide who's going first, and we're playing on double Targon's Peak. Ugh.
T-Simple.
Okay.
But I'm just making sure.
Targon's Peak is... This is going to be a lot of cards being thrown around very, very quickly.
Have to.
I was just going to start their mulligans.
Bear with me on stream while I just move the names around. I'll find a more secure spot for those after the stream.
Game 1 of this series is starting. We're seeing a Ravenbloom student coming down and pass. Pretty good opener. 2, Ravenbloom. No, Party Poor. That's also very, very good here. Going to move, take the Targon's Peak on the left, and then deploy Kai'Sa, most likely. Nope, we're going Sprite Mother to take both points. That is juicy. That's going to force Kajias to actually do something. You could go for the head... If you had head check ready, you'd probably kill the Ravenbloom student, to be fair. Ready 3 runes. That's a good start. For 1 power, that is a lot of pressure to apply. All of a sudden, that Party Poro is looking a little bit less... Okay, yeah, we're going to go for the...
Stupefy.
Is Stupefy what Lulu says?
Ray.
She used check Ray, yeah. But it's going to be paying a deflect cost because of the Poro.
I don't think that she might say Stupefy. I don't know. Stupefy.
Oh, she has weird names for her spells.
Lux.
Not Lux. Lulu. Falling Star. Falling Star's good here. Even though you've taken the 2 points early, you've managed to get control of the tempo.
Oh no, they're saying Hugify.
Oh, Hugify. Okay.
Because they're making things big.
Ginormous. Yeah, we can accelerate our own Kai'Sa. We can take both points to accelerate Kai'Sa, untap for ready 4 runes. Yeah, we are trading a little bit of power for that, but yeah, we have our whole stack ready to interact. Try to attack into this. I mean, you can. If you go try to Void Seeker, they can always cleave as they move it in with their first action to make sure that a single Void Seeker can't kill it, but then you could just choose not to play the Void Seeker. Cleave is not a react, so Void Seeker, if... Yep, which side do you want to charge into the Kai'Sa, or do you want to charge into Ravenbloom? We're probably going to go for the Ravenbloom so we can get the capture and card draw. Smoke screen, we're going to get +1 on the Ravenbloom and then be able to force a reaction. Here's a cleave, that's good. That's interesting that we had the cleave, we didn't play it as before we moved in, in case it was Void Seeker, but I guess this is better into Smoke screen.
Second cleave?
Just playing it to give the +1 to the Ravenbloom, because the Ravenbloom is not the attacker, it will not get anything from the assault, so they're going to trade. So it's going to deny the Kai'Sa draw, and it's going to deny the reading of the runes. So we're coming in with Darius. Kind of wanted the smoke screen for there. Retreat. Retreat is very, very acceptable here. And that's going to put Kajias in a very good spot, because they're now going to be able to accelerate Kai'Sa straight into the other Targon's Peak if they want to. They're also open to go Thousand Tail Watcher and then kill Darius. They could play their own Darius, kill Darius, and ready 2 runes. T-Simple forgot to ready 2 runes from that last exchange, which could make a huge difference, as they were supposed to resolve Targon's Peak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it wasn't
kind of huge.
Was it a Conquer?
Yeah, it was a Conquer.
Or did the combat basically get nulled because of the retreat?
No, you still conquer it because you successfully control of it. So
okay, yeah, I'm getting confused with holding. That's my bad. Yeah, they did it.
Yeah, we get the 2 because that's pretty big. Kai'Sa accelerate. Yeah, this is very much an accelerate Kai'Sa fight at the moment, because it's everyone gets to play all of their cards as quickly as possible. Because Targon's Peak just constantly lets you develop and kill stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like playing Sona in Kai'Sa, and Sona is a good card. We do get to retain our Darius, though. That is huge. And Nox is hopeful. Going to be able to send in double Darius, so even a smokescreen will not save. Okay, we're sending in just one Darius. That felt a little bit ambitious.
Dupify.
Draw card. Running out of cards now because everybody can just play everything because they have like a bajillion resources. We are starting to fall behind. Yeah, and we've on cards. Both Kaisers are now out of the game from the Chosen Champions. So Kai'Sa lists. It's kind of interesting. It feels like it should be a free of, but I saw like there was some decks that were just not playing the full suite. Especially from China, they're just like, I'll just play 2, and I'm like, that can't be right.
There comes Darius.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That backwards and forwards. Yeah, lots of the Kai'Sa decks just going down to one Kai'Sa. Prismaticism's list from the Rift Labs event was just chosen Kai'Sa, no additional copies.
Interesting. We should definitely ask, basically, just to see why. See if we can get some input. Falling Star taking out the Darius there.
Yeah, there's like between 1 or 2 being played. It's just I guess space is pretty tight when you look at everything that's being crammed in.
Oh, hang up. I think I may have these the wrong way round. Is that not T-Simple T on the bottom? No, it's not.
No, that's Kachias.
That's
Void
my
Seeker.
bad. Let's move those around. So we're up to 7 points.
Yeah, we do know there could be an Acafian rain coming here. Okay, yeah, we're moving the Darius back.
Makes sense.
It just reduces the chance of Thousand-Tailed Watcher killing. I think it was after the spacebar was pressed, so... Let's see what players do next. Only one card in hand for T-Simple. We are
just to get the card.
Digging. Yeah, we are digging. We can now hex check Ray. That would also clear that point. But our opponent is presenting a double conquer. And Darius is very good at taking things when he wants them.
We do have 3 tables running in the final. A lot of people have said that they are essentially just tuckered out because a lot of them were in the Rift maxing event earlier today by the sounds of it.
Yeah, like it's been a pretty big day for events, especially like for people that have been grinding out. They're playing on Thursdays. That runs really late if you're European. Saturday, you've got the Bandle Blitz. You've got Rift maxing. There's other events going on as well in all the different servers as you start navigating them all. So I can totally understand. Yeah, Ray to take down to a throne.
Sprite Mother.
Sprite Mother. I mean, get a score and ready 2 runes, but that Sprite token on its own doesn't hold against either of the 2 units out.
And that's why it's not.
Yeah, we're all in. It's like, okay, if you have Watcher, we're dead. Like
Void Seeker.
Well, yeah, just Void Seeker will also do it. Void Seeker, send play the other card, send in Darius.
Yeah, and there we go.
Clowns.
We are going into
Game 2.
Game 2.
1 point to T-Pain. T-Simple. T-Simple, sorry. Just,
Gosh. Have you ever actually heard T-Pain just singing?
He was in I'm on a Boat from Lonely Island, right?
Yeah. And his whole thing was that he used a lot of auto-tune in his songs. But then he went on and won The Masked Singer last season.
Oh, yeah.
It's apparently, if anybody's listening, I also encourage them to go and listen to T-Pain's cover of War Pigs, because it is amazing.
Sometimes some things surprise you, like CeeLo Green's cover of Kung Fu Fighting for the Kung Fu Panda movie, and was like, hey, you know what? That was actually pretty good. I liked that, surprisingly.
We just got a result in. Terraceidon has won against Jibs 2-0. That was on table 3.
And thank you for the raiding party, Tara. I do appreciate we're probably getting all the same people who are already watching us, but...
Welcome in, Raiders.
Yes, come join us for the final round. We're currently 1-0 to T-Simple against Kajius. They're both playing a Kaisa Mirror. We're playing Reavers, going first into Dreaming Tree.
Yeah, that last round there, that last game, I should say, we saw essentially Kajius just dump their hand on the table with nothing to be able to back it up, pushing all in. And T-Simple T was just able to just steal it away.
Yeah, just way too much pressure. I'll try to say it all. At least you're honest. And yeah. Patty Poro start. That's very good to push into Reavers, I would guess. Because you don't really want to be cleaving. I mean, you could go in there and stupefy your own guy to draw 2 cards. Don't hate it if you've also got a Void Seeker. Okay, Paddy Poro going for the Dreaming Tree. Doesn't get Hextech Raid, which would have set the T-Simple's Kaisa back another rune. Paddy is just so good at these mirror matches. Leaving 4 up. Okay, so we could be Stupefy Void Seeker. It's kind of aggravating because playing a spell onto that Poro is just setting you behind on the rune race. Well, it's bringing it back in line and you lose the advantage you got from going first. You could go for Accelerate Kaisa, but that's very vulnerable to these face-up 4 runes. Like, that seems almost like punching yourself in the face, actually, to make that play. So, probably
which is bad to do, just to make sure people are aware. Don't punch yourself in the face.
Yeah, like, we don't encourage people to just, like, shoryuken themselves.
How would that even be possible?
I don't know. In South Park, we saw David Blaine eat his own head. So I think we can see things that we didn't think we were going to see.
Anything's in the realm of possibility.
I love that. That's like that was a running joke from, was it, Team America? You ever seen a man eat his own head? No, then you haven't seen everything.
Stupefy Falling Star.
Yeah, Pew Pew. Going to strip the backline out. Getting that Kaisa is very, very strong as well. Paddy Poro comes back. Interesting. Okay, so we're holding free up for the Void Seeker. Okay, Paddy Poro is coming back, so we don't just give it up for free to Darius. There he is. And then Paddy Poro will just go to wherever Darius isn't hanging out, which is either. So probably Reavers. Could go back to Dreaming Tree if you did want to get those draws off of the Stupefy, but Reavers would let you keep your unit on the attack, and your opponent's very unlikely. Your opponent could consider hex stacking now a little bit later into the game next turn, but you still get the point. So this Pori's definitely covered its energy cost. Scored 3 points, this little guy. It's almost halfway to victory off the Poro, and we are going to get the double conquer from the Sprite Mother token. These are very, very good when you're going first. It's just you get to apply so much pressure. What we've seen a lot from the Kaisa games tonight is the Kaisa that went first scores all the points, and the other players trying to pressure flip and get control of the game. But the Kaisa going first has been consistently running over. So we're going Falling Star, and we're going to be able to kill a Poro and the Sprite Mother, but we'll have to pay the deflect cost from the Poro. So we are going to end up paying 2 runes. Fortunately, Daughter of the Voids legend ability is going to be able to remove one of those costs, and we still get to stay to 8. Now, the sad part is that this attack into the sprite is kind of risky. I mean, we could go Void Seeker, but then we could just get shot back with Smoke Screen. I think we make this attack if we have the Smoke Screen. You could retreat and then just replay Darius and slam it in again. Oh, you're in Void Seeker.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's fine, yeah. We get to draw. We get to hold Darius. We can probably... Yeah, we're going to retreat the Darius so we're not at risk. And we're going to push the Reavers, which is very safe from opponents. Darius is also very safe from their Watcher. And Watcher a Sentry is a bit much. And we're seeing fire, so it is probably Darius. Oh, it's Kai'Sa accelerated. Yep, shove that in. It's 100%. You just retreat. Draw a card. I'll tell you a battlefield that I've been seeing falling out of play for Kai'Sa at the moment is Voidgate. That's one that was like considered very common in Kai'Sa, and they've just seemed to be moving away from it. And like Dreaming Tree kind of crept up in a lot of these lists.
Remind the viewers what that does. Voidgate.
Which one? Voidgate. Spells and abilities that deal damage deal 1 additional damage to units at this battlefield. So it suddenly makes your Hextech Ray deal 4, which is enough to kill Kai'Sa. It changes a lot of the math and the numbers. But we've just moved away from it, I guess, because when... well, even actually thinking about it, like when they have like Dreadbloom on there, you could Falling Star and kill it because you get +1 on each of the triggers, but then you pay a bajillion in deflect costs.
Yeah.
Dreaming Tree was one that was initially kind of avoided because it was very favorable to Master Yi, which was your predominant second deck in the format. But it turns out that just drawing a card when playing Cleave or Retreat, whilst those cards are already good, is good for Kai'Sa. Okay. Kafian Rain just nukes the board and then double score. Well, the Kai'Sa's already paid for itself.
A good card. One of the best cards in this game is just the ability to be able to go, you know that board you had? Well.
Shame if something was to happen to it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a base and it's safe, right? Yeah, definitely. Again, just whoever was working on the Riot dev team just decided the favorite child was Kai'Sa. Like, it just has everything.
They're just like, we've been tower dove before. That's what happens, right?
Gonna fight fire with fire by Kafian Rain straight back, getting down a Darius, but the 2 Watchful Sentries are going to draw 2 additional cards. So that's less of a wipe as it was versus Kageus. We get the triple kill, and then we get Noxious Hopeful. Oh, hold on. We might have we may have disconnected from this.
Oh, yeah, I think we have.
Yeah, I think we just refresh and put the code in again, and we'll just jump straight back.
We should reconnect. Give it a good moment. Just going to check to make sure that they haven't actually just...
Yeah. No, it's moving again.
There we go.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Yeah, it just takes a second sometimes.
Just have to hit the TV. It makes it show pictures better.
Yeah, that was actually just me hitting my monitor, just like striking
like,
it.
Bang, bang, bang. Come on, you damn thing. Work. Ravenbloom, Hopeful. We've already seen the rain out, so having this little force in the back is probably... You should think it's a little bit safer, but nothing's guaranteed.
Especially considering that we raid into somebody playing League of Legends after this, just to keep things on brand.
Oh, is there nobody else streaming Riftbound?
There might be.
Are we top of the category? That is incredible.
So yeah, there's I think there might be other people playing Riftbound, but it's actually quite a uncommon category at Twitch at the moment. Not a lot of people stream it, and again, that may just be by the virtue of that the game isn't necessarily actually out yet.
Yeah, it's going to get bigger and bigger for sure. And it's kind of a good thing sign that Riot's been okay with us having these online platforms. They might say, we no longer want you updating these when the game actually officially comes out. But they could if they just leave it going, I think it does a lot more help for the game as a marketing tool. Mm-hmm. As effectively, Riot just gets free exposure, like you do say, oh yeah, there's some people that play online that will never play the game. But what they do is they contribute to the player pool of people that are playing your game.
Yeah.
And so when other people go to play that are actually going to spend money, they see the online players and they go, oh yeah, no, cool, I'm going to go buy the cards.
Yeah, my thinking is that if I was Riot, I would let people play online, but then after the game actually comes out and the tournament series starts coming out, they would probably essentially say no cash prizes. But that's unenforceable realistically unless it was streamed.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be one way to go rather than just trying to get the platforms to stop playing your game, because we've seen that backfire for other games before. No one in particular that sends any sort of cease and desists to particular platforms that make their game particularly popular.
Yeah. Well, it's like Pixelborn's like Lorcana, I think was a huge reason why the game got such early traction from players that wanted to play.
Yeah, there was a scarcity, and there was partly a manufactured scarcity and people buying up as many cards as possible. So it was really difficult for anybody to actually get into the game when it first came out. So allowing something like Riftbound to just continue for just that little bit longer until you get to a point where you understand what the demand is for your audience, it just lets you push your brand a little bit further and have people actually engage with the game.
Your first round of orders is always going to be conservative because you're trying to deploy a new game and people are trying to figure out the demands. So your initial orders, you hope to be in a position to reprint, but reprinting can be very expensive because your second wave is usually not bigger than your first wave of orders.
Yeah. And
you get discounts based on the volume that you print. So if you're doing 1 million booster packs, that's a lot better than if you're doing 100,000, for example. Smoke screen, that's going to be enough to kill. So yeah, we get to shoot that down. We're going to 7 points. So we've got a potential hold. We've only got one card in hand. Void Seeker, Stupefy. That is going to be enough to kill Darius, unless that card is Retreat. Yeah, it is Retreat. Okay. We're still in it. We're still in it. Going to hold our Darius. But we do have 3 cards in hand for T-Simple. And T-Simple is at least 2 turns away from being able to take this game down. Sprite Mother would have been great there, but we don't have it. We've got a Raven Bloom 2 cards up. Yep, we're going to play Darius. And then we're going to play Sprite Mother. We go for the double conquer. We are threatening game here. Yeah, Kajia, T-Simple is going to concede out of that one, and we're going to game 3 in this series. The final game for today. Well, unless we spectate somebody else who's finishing up. We've got 24 minutes on the round. But for all the biscuits, that's what this one's for.
Yes, all of the biscuits, which are cookies for Americans, or...
Isn't a cookie something different from a biscuit? I don't eat them, so I don't know.
Yes and no. You don't eat biscuits?
No, I don't like sugar.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That is a good point.
I don't mind sugar in alcohol, but I don't like sugar in anything else. And even then, I'm still a bit funny with it. Like Diet Coke, everything.
Biscuits and cookies are essentially the same thing. But biscuits in the US are more like bread cakes, I'd guess, would be the easiest way to describe them.
And about $30.
More like a scone, yeah.
Game 3, it's not Targons. It's potentially...
No, it's the Grove of the Godwillow versus Reaver's Row.
Yeah. Player who goes first with Reavers is interesting. Godwillow is also a interesting one. I wonder if we're seeing some side tech coming. I guess she's been chosen last because holding against Kai'Sa is pretty difficult, and Godwillow is one of those battlefields that can absolutely backfire tremendously. Mm-hmm. But the mulligan's interesting. We see 2 going back for T simple, and Kajias is deciding whether or not they take their 2 or if they're okay with these 3. And that they are going to double mulligan and draw 2 cards. Might be seeing some secret tech. Game 3, let's see where we're going from here. We play 2 Mind Runes off the top, and we're going Pouty Poro. 3
That Poro upset.
Yeah.
And does not want to take its medicine.
We're going to be able to get onto the God Willow and score that first point. We are going to get the Hedge Tech Ray, but that Poro is going to more than pay for that with its deflect cost. Can you just imagine if Kai'Sa didn't have its ability to do that during its own turn? It'd be like, do I pay 2 runes? We're going to retreat the
and a
Poro.
retreat.
That's
some wasted resource.
No, it's what I like about that is it's the ramp. It basically means that we're further ahead on runes.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a wasted resource for
Oh yeah.
To attempt to get rid of it.
Yeah, and you get the press in again with the deflect because that Poro will go wherever the Watchful Sentry goes. So the Watchful Sentry, you'd like to get units onto the God Willow, but you could go Watchful Sentry to Reavers and then play Sprite Mother to push onto the God Willow. You won't get the draw because the token will fade, but you would be putting 3 on there. Your opponent, if they have Hedge Tech, they'll kill your token and then move the Pouty in, but then you'll be able to take it over with Sprite Mother. So I could see Sprite Mother being a good play this turn. Because you're not starring a Poro in the back line. Like, that would be a bit mad.
Yeah, Watchful Sentry up.
Yeah. Goes to -1. We're at 1, and then we could play the Kai'Sa. We know that our opponent is potentially what we could be looking at is a Kafian Rain, and that's the reason we retreat it to ramp so we get to 7 next turn. The Pouty's 100% going in again. Maybe not to God Willow. Well, if you move the Reavers, they just take the Sentry back. But you've got the rune. You've got a significant rune advantage here. So we could probably make a read that a Kafian Rain is in there. Like that would make sense for the very aggressive retreat on the Poro. Yeah, I think that seems fair.
Kai'Sa coming in.
Kai'Sa accelerates. Yeah, take advantage of our runes. Slam that in. We're going to be going up to 8 next turn, so we can threaten Watcher. We're also still holding up potential smokescreen. I think you're very comfortable to push the Pouty Poro in. Going to cause the Watchful Sentry to go back unless you need the card. The unit's generally worth more as you want to at least get the move value out of it. Unit movement is a cost. You want to get as much value out of it as possible. We're going to 6. So we could be seeing Darius. We're not enough at a Kafian Rain. We could go Void Seeker. Oh, we could be playing multiple retreats, and that's why we aggressively played it on the first Poro. Yeah, Smokescreen is a big commitment. Yeah, okay, we're going to treat the Noxus Hopeful. Not going to risk losing that. 5
This
Darius.
is, RFT. Card, this is the last round.
Yeah, okay. Darius coming into the God Willow and is going to clean up the Kai'Sa. There's no way of protecting it now. The Watchful Sentry is just going to have to sit back and watch, though, as they're not going to be able to take away the Reaver's Row from the Pouty Poro. No, that's really good, RTF. In terms of points, I think that gets you 9 points. I think that gets you into silver rolls, which I'll be sorting out after we've wrapped this one up. And then I want to get the sign-up link for the challenge. Is that how you say it? Challenge?
Challenge. It's challenge.
Yeah, we get the sign-up link for next week's event. I'll be away for the event towards the end of the month in the it might be 28th or something, because I'll be at Essen Spiel. But what we'll do is we'll have another caster on while I'm away to work with Nearly if you're available for that week.
Oh yeah, I will be available for that week. I was gonna see if anybody would want to come on with me.
Yeah. We're going to push the Kaiser into Reavers, get the card draw, the Patty Pour is going home. And then another Noxus Hopeful coming. Well, it's the same Noxus Hopeful coming down. 17 minutes left on the round.
Gosh, these games have gone very quickly.
Well, time flies when you're having fun. Or time flies. Fruit flies like banana. That's Zillion's joke. I never figured it out. I think it has something to do with like, I don't know if it was like a weird philosopher's thing or if it was talking about Soraka's bananas that she throws at people for her auto attack.
Very possible. So, building up a lovely full base there.
He's got lots of watchful sentries, and they all like to watch. They're all just there, like peeking around, like, "Oh, look at that value I'm going to be taking soon." He's just sat there going, "Look out! It's that one guy." When you play Thousand Tile Watcher. Yeah, we're going to be able to score 2 points here as Kajias, but we are playing into 3 face-up runes. Card supply is getting a little bit low, and ultimately the concern that you have is that Darius will be able to go wherever it wants. Yeah, we send the Watchful Sentry in to Grove of the Godwillows. That's going to allow us to score points, and it's the lowest risk unit. And then if we send the Noxus Hopeful over the Reavers, we can move it away from Darius. But we'll be able to press the Pouty Poro out to the Godwillow to score that point. But we've still got 9 open runes. If you've got another Kaiser you would like to keep the cards going, so then you could press a card advantage, I guess we could be considering a Kafian Rain. But do you want to shoot your audience over there of the Watchful Sentries and let your opponent draw 3 cards? And pay an additional power cost for killing the Poro? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4... You wouldn't be able to kill the Darius if you do that, so you'd probably just kill everything except for the Poro. Feels a bit bad, I won't lie. And then that Poro still takes your Grove of the Godwillow. And Hedgetech, getting very little Hedgetech Ray value in here. You're either shooting a Watchful Sentry, which you're going to have to start doing. T-Simples on 6 points. They are effectively 1 turn away from winning. And whatever play you set up, you are at risk of Watcher. And we're 8 runes, so we can threaten Time Warp. Although the weird thing is, you never really know if every Kaiser deck is playing it. Even if they just leave 1 in the side deck, it basically makes them play around it in these have to consider it in these awkward situations. We're going for the holds. Falling Star. Okay, because we played the Watchful Sentry, it's shrunk everything on the board by 3. So we will kill the Pouty Poro, kill the Darius. We'll have to pay the extra power cost on that, though. So we have like stripped our runes down quite significantly. Interesting. Okay, so we've got Watchful, Thousand Tile Watcher, and Noxus Hopeful. So if we have our own Thousand Tile Watcher, T-Simple will be able to take the game down from here. But if they had it, they'd slam it. But they could get an extra draw by sending in their Watchful in. Oh, we got Void Seeker. Okay, we didn't have Time Warp, but we are able to shrink the enemy down a little bit. Falling Star. Double shooting, and then we can send in the Watchful Sentry to kill the Watcher. Draw card. Darius, Sprite Mother. Sprite Mother will be enough to get there, and we're going to be seeing T-Simple taking down the event 4-0. Very well played to these two players. They played a good game. That was a fun one to watch for sure, and we got to see a lot of the big removal spells, Acafian Rain being picked up quite heavily by players in this tournament.
Yep, definitely. And coming back to us at the table, again, you can see Matt's face.
Hey, I do appreciate you saying that because I don't know when you switch to me. I want to make sure I'm looking at the right camera. Otherwise, I just
kind of why I say it.
looking at everything. So it's a very subtle way of sneaking that in. But that is going to be round 4 of the Bandle Blitz. We've got 12 minutes left on the round. We still have some outstanding results. No, we don't. All of the results are in.
That was the last one.
So that's going to be us for this evening. It's been a ton of fun casting with you as always, Nearly.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun as always. You can find Matt on Mataragus Plays on pretty much everything. And you can find me as Nearly Not Quite on pretty much everything. If you tune into me, however, I'm probably not going to be playing Riftbound. It's very likely I will be just doodling more than likely, or playing some games. More of a variety streamer. Yeah, it's been a lovely tournament.
Yeah, it's been great. And of course, you can catch this on YouTube. So if you were playing in the tournament and you want to see your VOD from the games you're casting, just head over there and bring your friends into the server, invite them. As long as they're pleasant people, we'd love to keep growing the community. We're looking forward to putting out more great stuff for you and more tournaments, more content, and generally just having fun with Riftbound. But for now, we're going to sign off and wish you all the best. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. See you next time. Bye.